Hey everybody, happy Wednesday. Let's update the today command unlike the last time. Hey Darkstorm. Today Adam is working toward checkpoint number 2 of Skeleseller, which should launch on Friday, July 26th. The goals for today are to finish the quest system and add some content. Ideally, there would be a couple of hours worth of gameplay. I'll just say a couple of hours of gameplay. All right. Yeah, so I did a bunch of stuff yesterday. Although I don't know how easy it is to show that stuff. So let's just load up the game and see. And there's quite a lot to do on the content front. Okay, so one thing that I did. Oh, I never put tooltips for these. Oh, drat. I don't know how I forgot about that. Yeah, I didn't write it down anywhere. All right, make a tooltip for the player-wide skill tree. Anyway, one of the things I did is normally you left click and you put a point into something. But if you left click something lower down, it'll put a point into all the prerequisites. And if you right click something higher up, it'll remove a point from any dependent skills as well. And that's only when you hit 0 of that skill. So like I can right click here and it won't set this one to 0 yet. But if I right click here, it sets everything to 0. So that's working. I put a little help label here so you can hover over this and see how you were in scale points. The quest stuff is being saved properly. And the way that it works is it's once a shop sees an item. So here are some potions and a character is going to go over and put it into the shop. And as soon as it hits this item display, we're going to get a quest. Yeah. And then we can accept the quest. I mean, there's going to be different text here. I haven't finished that. And then it's, business as usual at that point. So now if we grant items, let's do this and speed this up. So we have 5 skill points. And as soon as they get 3 potions, I should probably say quest complete, which it doesn't. But anyway, we go up to 6. In fact, let me write that down. There should be a quest complete plus X skill points when you finish a quest. Yeah, anyway, 2 big things. One, bricklaying. I mentioned this before, but it's like making a brick wall. You just lay every brick, 1 brick at a time, and every brick is notable progress. But it's all a very slow drip. I think that's what's going to happen in the next week or so. We're going to be adding a lot of content, changing a lot of things, but it's just going to be laying bricks. So I want to spend no more than 2 hours on the quest stuff. And then we want to move on to content. So yeah, let's just blitz through all this. It actually doesn't matter how fast we do it. It just matters that we get stuff done. And we only have one other thing in here, and that's add a button to access the skill tree in the game. Yeah, so we have it listed. All right, now let's get started. So quest by category doesn't need to exist since we have a function that can fetch it. However, we will need to get the quests in order, so perhaps we should manifest prerequisites. Yeah. There are 2 ways we could do this. Well, 3 ways, I guess. One way is the way that we've done it, which is just duplicate a bunch of data, which is kind of silly. But we could just leave it like this for now. The second way is we have a list of quests in order. So there's no real need to list prerequisites if it's all just a chain. A goes to B goes to C. Because then it's just like, well, the prerequisite is everything before it in the list. It's not like a tree structure where you might expect prerequisites typically. And then the other way is to put a hash set quest ID prereqs on each quest. And then we could, officially allow for different things than just chains of quests. I'm not, I guess, it's kind of super concerned either way. We could even just have a quest order. Could even just have a quest order integer on each quest. And then sort it ourselves. To be honest, I think I am inclined to not do anything about this right now. I think we need to focus on important stuff. I figured out navigation. I was just drawing on the wrong layer. Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah, nice. Sounds good. Hey, Grace, it's going well. And hey, Nikita. Yep, I am Kip Boga. I'm going to be doing some scam baiting today. Welcome in. Yeah, let's file this as a task over here. It's, I guess, low priority. In fact, it's probably like a P2 kind of thing. Yeah. Hey, Phoenix. Yeah, I'm excited to get a lot of this stuff done. I'm excited more so to hear what people have to say about this version of the game. I can predict a little bit of the feedback, but I think the rest of it, I need to see how the game feels after adding some content. Hey again, Rust. How are you all doing? Okay, so we're going to say refactor quests by category. So the data in, where is this thing? All quest data. All quest data, quest by category is duplicated with all quest data itself. There are a few options we could do. One is manifest a hash set quest ID of prerequisites for each quest. This may be overkill since the quests happen in a linear chain. But maybe we eventually... actually, do we even care? I guess I kind of care. Eventually allow you to do them in any order. I don't know. Manifest an integer int quest order that we validate always goes from 0 dot dot num quests in category -1. And what else? Manifest a single prerequisite. I don't know. I think we should probably just go with the overkill one. Should probably just go. Wait, actually. Yeah, no, I'm gonna write this down. Manifest a single quest ID prerequisite, since that's the need we have right now. Yeah. Okay, I'm leaning toward the one with the star, which is this one. Done. This is just whenever. This is weird. I don't know. This has to be a bug in GitHub. Maybe it's not, but I can't see whenever. It's in this list. You can see that if I press the down arrow, I can actually go farther down than what's showing on the screen. And if I type whenever, it shows up, but you can't actually scroll the page. A little strange. Ever since I got back here, considering getting a core, you should do it. Try it out. How do you feel about people expecting an updated version of Idle Ascendance and they see this? I wonder if anyone is like, whatever happened to that game? I hope it was clear enough that that's been dropped. All right, standardize the tooltip by making a tooltip class. This could be worth doing because I need to do this too. Let's do this one, which is to add a quest complete. We have a quest available. Available, where is that? Available quest? Where did I type this? Oh my goodness, I don't know what I'm searching for. Where is it? Quest available, yeah. Maybe I just typed the wrong thing when I searched. Oh, it blocked the view. Yeah. Thank you, Nui. But anyway, it wasn't working. That's the short story, but yeah, I didn't realize it was being blocked. We talk about items, weapons, armor, potion. How do you define their properties? So you want a weapon to do damage, but you want an armor to increase max HP. There are no attributes for items in this game. This is just a game about selling the items. So a game about equipping the items would be different. If you're asking in theory, how would you do this if you were to equip them, I could talk about that. Yeah. I think the way I would probably consider it is either if you have simple stats, like let's say power, life, defense, that sort of thing, I would just have each item manifest those stats. So there'd be like an int power increase, int life increase, and int defense, and so on and so forth. If you're talking about complex stats, So something like a Diablo style thing where you have like, I'm just gonna make a number like 50 different stats. You probably don't want to take up 50 different, you know, locations in memory just for stats that are never going to appear on something. Maybe, by the way, maybe there are more than 50. I'm not actually sure. So I'd probably do something like an item mod, and I'd probably have like an item mod ID, and the IDs would be something like lifesteal, power increase, whatever, fire resistance. And then something would know how to interpret these. And that way, an item can contain whatever item mods. So we might have like a lifesteal item mod, and we might say like value here is 5. And we might have a whatever, something else, you know, fire resistance. And the value here is 10. This is sort of like how I did buffs in this game. Hey, traffic. Yeah, not botland. This is sort of like how I did buffs in this game. There's a power increase buff, and it's really simple. It's literally just a float. So this is how much your power goes up by. Then when we figure out what your effective power is, we had a stat computations thing that does get power. It gets every single power increase from your character and then returns that plus your base power. So that's kind of how item mods would work too. You'd go over every single one of your items and figure out like how much life steal do you have total. And then when you do damage, you would just apply your life steal value. You probably want some sort of like caching, so you're not going through every single item on every single point of damage you deal. That's how a lot of games do this, is they sort of snapshot what you're currently at. And if your gear doesn't change, then they don't need to keep recalculating it. Hey, Trackley. Quest available. Yeah, so I want this when the quest is done. And I think we have an on quest complete or something. Yeah, is complete. So you know what? Maybe we should have like a completed quest. Well, private void completed quest. Yeah, and I just want to call this from here completed quest. Quest complete. Oh, we need this to be an exclamation mark. Yeah. And then I want to write plus. We need the quest reward. Where do we get the quest reward from? I think it's 1. I think it's always 1. No, maybe it's not. Quest data? Is there like number of skill points? I don't remember where I did this. Also, this has been a problem recently where I searched for something and I know I typed that correctly, but it just didn't show up yet. Here it is. Hey, Buffy, aka HLD. What does it represent? I know question mark is the nullable. Exclamation mark is the not null assertion. It's probably got a better name than that. But let's say you have a variable like a, whatever, a foo question mark. This could be null and it might not be null. And if you know that it's not null, then you can say when you go to use it like foo exclamation mark dot some method. So ways that you might know it's not null is maybe a caller validated it for you. Yeah, null forgiving, that's what it's called. But otherwise, the code wouldn't know for sure here that it's null or not. Terrible at soldering? Yeah, yeah. And typically build services charge quite a lot. I don't know how much you're willing to pay. But I'd be curious if you do get it, how much you ended up paying. Also, for what it's worth, I do think that if you get one with LEDs, which I guess technically they should probably all have LEDs, but these can be really helpful for learning the keyboard. I've kind of shown this before, but as I switch layers, you can see the keyboard changing colors on the side. And that's pretty nice because you can make red keys be the destructive ones, and I don't know, green keys can be your navigation ones or something. Okay, so we have the, this isn't going to work, is it? No, it will work. Ooh, cool. Okay, so how many points do you get? Num points equals, there we go, plus dum points, scale points. All right, this might look a little bit weird. Also, should it be in yellow? I feel like maybe it should be in green. I guess the quest showed. Oh, but quest available might also show up here. That would be a problem. Because you might have completed a quest and immediately seen quest available. Huh. So where do I want to put this? I mean, I guess what we could do is we could just put it a few tiles higher up, like -3. We need to try this out though. How do we do that? All instance data. We need to manifest a new potion here. So this is going to be big life potion. All right, let's try that. How about having the reward one color and the rest another? I think that could be done, but the problem I'm having right now is with positioning. So the text shows up over here. And if I do this, so we have a couple of life potions and a couple of mana potions. As soon as one of these hits, actually, it has to be the blue one. As soon as the blue one hits an item display, we'll see quest available. I guess I need to speed this up. There. Okay, so quest available showed up. Now we need the red one to show up here too. Good. And then we accept the quest, and then we grant more items. So what's going to happen here is we'll complete this quest, and both quest complete and quest available will show at the exact same time. We could just have a little bit of a delay on the quest available thing. I don't know how I feel about that though. But yeah, I gotta wait for 3 potions to be dragged here. They need to grab another blue one. Come on. Go to the blue one. There we go. Okay. There it was. Quest available, and then it broke because I must be doing something that you're not supposed to do. Yep, that certainly looks like it. Value cannot be null component. Because of this? Oh my god. There. Ah, too bad. Oh wow, what's your current keyboard, Phoenix? I should have just made this never return a different kind of item. I should only give you potions right now. All right, grant most things, grant items. Do we have some potions? We do. Okay, increase the game speed a little bit. We need there to be both a red and a blue potion put in here. There's a blue one. Good. Quest available. There's a red one. Okay, so now we can do this. All right. Again, we're going to look at this, and we're going to take a picture as soon as this thing happens. Yeah. So it's off by a little bit. I think we can just make this, we can just lower it a little. Maybe like 1.5. There. I'm not even going to test that. Whatever. Good enough for right now. I want to move through some of this stuff, and I know it's not going to be perfect, and we can always come back and finish this up. Show text to the player when a quest is finished. Cool, cool, cool. Make a tooltip for the player-wide skill tree. Yeah, really, this shouldn't be too bad. We could just make a component out of this. There's a rich text label here. I think that could be helpful to keep as a rich text label. So I think we just put this into its own scene, and then we have some functions for setting the text and everything. And I feel like this should just work fine. So let's go try this. How do you do that? Save branches scene. So this is going to be a tooltip. I guess technically it's a skill tooltip. Although I don't know if that matters. Maybe just saying it's a tooltip is fine. Yeah, probably just saying it's a tooltip is fine. Okay, cool. Now we want to give this a script. Although the script is going to be pretty minimal. I think it's just going to have a way to set the text. Tooltip label.text. Do we do anything else? We get the size every once in a while. Yeah, that's pretty much it though. Maybe add the remaining items for other shops and check the quest just in case. Yeah, we're going to do that when we get to content because I actually need to fill out some of the quests, some of the abilities, some of the enemies. Keychron Q4 with some mods. Let me take a look at this. Oh, nice. Yeah, I've seen... Oh, what? Yeah, I've seen this keyboard. Yeah, by the way, if you can get a corn with an encoder, game changer. I don't know if they have those on Etsy. But yeah, pretty fantastic to have an encoder on your keyboard. It's just one of the most natural ways I feel to control volume. I guess if you had a fader, it would also be pretty natural. But I like that an encoder can just be turned infinitely. Whereas a fader, you set it to, 80%, it's always going to be 80%. So getting back to the exact same amount can be a little tough. All right, let's add a script to this. gonna save this. You know what'd be nice is if it had like a default path for everything that you add. So I could say that the default path here is source/scene script. This is gonna be tooltip. This is fine. The tooltip itself, it doesn't really need to know what it is. It can just be a control. We don't need this. We need this thing, which is how we get the label. Private. It's actually a rich text label. Label equals null. Override ready. Get this from here. Did not mean to delete that. Panel margin rich text label. Is that correct? Panel margin. Yeah, it has to be correct because we saved the scene, but it's worth just validating. Tooltips, I guess, should be invisible by default. Okay, so now the skill tree, we're going to get a tooltip, not a control. And it's called tooltip. That's fine. Now we don't need this. We don't need the tooltip label. We don't need this to be a control. And then any calls to it need to be wrapped. Where are you? This. Yeah, tooltip dot set text. There we go. Everything else good. The label size. So we need to get the size of the label for this. I think it's really just the entire tooltip size, which we can now do because it's not a control anymore. Tooltip doesn't contain a definition for set text. Yeah, that's fine. We're going to add it. All right, nice. Hey, Phil. The aluminum frame makes it feel so premium. Yeah, I have a GMMK Pro, and it's super heavy, which I guess most people probably equate with premium. Oh, I don't know what the frame is on that. And yeah, I guess that was a pretty expensive keyboard too. I only use it for gaming, and I'm not a big fan, probably because of the switches at this point. Couldn't get used to it. At least K10 is... Wait, you couldn't get used to the Q1 or the K10? I want to look up the K10. Oh, wow. That is a large keyboard. And the Q1, so I'm guessing you couldn't get used to the small size of a Q1, yeah. Yeah, I think if you don't use a custom layout, that it can be a little bit tough on these things. And with a custom layout, I think it's great. I don't think you'll miss the numpad or anything. Well, you might for certain activities. I feel like when I use, there's a music program called Sibelius. Yeah, software. The reason I wanted to show a picture of this instead of just talking about it is because the interface is important here. Yeah, this. So they have this bit at the bottom right. This represents your numpad basically, and all the keys correspond to what would be on your numpad. If you're not using a numpad, the program becomes really obnoxious to use. So that's one of those cases where it's like, yeah, I guess having a dedicated numpad for that is pretty good. You're not switching layers or anything. I used to use the numpad a decent amount. I wouldn't say for everything. I guess it is kind of strange having it take up space on your desk for when you're not using it. But yeah, I didn't have a problem back then with that. All right, so set text is just going to be setting this on the label. Text equals V. We'll change this to text, I guess. All right, move this into a namespace. Yeah, let's go do that. Just take this. There. All right, everything else should work pretty much the exact same, right? Let's go try this out. Never miss my numpad or arrow keys after I got used to it. Yeah, and the only thing that's a little bit strange is on a full-size keyboard, like Microsoft keyboard, the numpad is usually laid out, yeah, in a perfect grid. Whereas the rest of the keys aren't, they're usually staggered. And having them be in that perfect grid really allows your muscle memory to use it the way you'd expect. So yeah, on the other keyboard I have, it's staggered and I have like a numpad layer, but it's actually not the most usable. This keyboard is great for it because this is also the same kind of grid style. Hey, Mootsie. Actually, I like big keyboards. It's also heavy, so it's very hard to move it. You just get a gold bar and set it on top of your keyboard. Okay, so the tooltip should look pretty much the exact same as it did. I mean, so far, seems like that's the case. And I guess let's make sure it can set the text of it. Yep, it can. Okay, yeah, pretty reasonable. So that in its own could be a commit. We could just say like make reusable tooltip component. Hey, Simon. Good kill a man. Just hurl your keyboard at a robber. This looks good. This looks good. We might want to be able to customize the color. I don't care about it for right now. Yeah, everything here looks good, except for this. I don't want that checked in. Oh, whoa, whoa, what's going on? There we go. If you make a layer for it, is it technically still a numpad? I would say, yeah, pretty much. Like, is it a numpad because it's a dedicated thing or just because you can type numbers on it? Also, I think the convenience can still be there. The quote unquote problem with this one is that in order to be able to type numbers, I have to use both hands. So I press my thumb key on the left hand and then I can start typing numbers. So I think it'd be very convenient if you had one finger on your hand for the layer and then another finger for the numbers, or you just switch into the layer temporarily. Nice, Schwartz. Okay, cool. So made a tooltip component. Made a reusable tooltip component. This doesn't control making it visible or invisible. Although I guess that's really just mouse entered and mouse exited. So now we need to put this into the player wide skill tree, which we're calling the skill tree. Skill tree. All right, so what do we do over here? We just added a tooltip somewhere. And I guess we're going to do the same basic thing, but the tooltip can show up anywhere, so it needs to be under a control, which this thing is. So we add a tooltip, that's not how you do that. You do it this way. Cool. It's invisible by default. Now we just need the same logic we had over here. Position tooltip. Yeah, I should probably put this into the tooltip class itself. Why is highlight message 13531 points? That was my old name that I had on Twitch, Adam13531. And I was using that for like 7 years. So it's a throwback to that. It's a number that I almost never naturally see anywhere else. Like there's some addresses nearby, and I think I saw like 13532 or something. I don't know. Some scores in games, they just never seem to land on that number. Revive and jump royale. What a waste of points. Hey, yo. Your vacation still going well, yo? Gonna ask you every single time until it's going poorly because I'm asking. So we need the positioning logic. We also need the whole mouse entered, mouse exited. This is for every single skill button. I guess what we could do is we could just pass in the tooltip to a skill button. Would that be a problem? How do we do this? Show and update tooltip on hover. On hover. Yeah, I think it's reasonable to do that. We could potentially even pass in the tooltip to the skill button and have it update the tooltip itself. Still going great. Weather's awful, so I'm hiding inside. Sounds reasonable. I think it's getting pretty hot here today. Let me check. Yeah, it's going up to 88 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 31 Celsius. And I know 31's not like, oh my God, it's breaking a record, but 31's not really comfortable. All right, what do we want to do? What do we want to do? I guess let's start by putting this on the skill buttons that we have. So we'll go to the skill tree here. And we make the buttons somewhere here. Yep, so we're going to make there are passive skill labels as well. Ugh. Ugh. On stop hover skill button and on hover skill button. Okay. On hover skill button and on stop hover. So we need tooltips for this stuff. Oh no, I separated left click and right click by like 4 functions. Oh well, it's just an organization thing. So show and update tooltip, tooltip hide. Yeah, we need this stuff. This is a lot of duplication. This is why I was saying I could change this completely. I just don't know if it's worth it today. Now we need to fetch this. And then I guess technically hide it. This isn't really needed. We're always going to be hiding it. Everything above 25 is too hot for me. Yeah, I said this before. What is it? It's the perfect temperature like. I think it's about 18. 18.3, something like that. Hey, Magnus. Howdy. You've been here for like 3 months. Welcome back. Hope your summer's going well. As I have the tooltip, this needs to show up here, I guess. Then we fetched it. No, we did not because I didn't actually do that. Ready. Just accepted an offer to start a comp sci bachelor this fall. Exciting times. Nice, 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 nice. Congrats. That is exciting times. You know, I've been reading Harry Potter again. I'm just on the first book so far. And I remember that when I read it originally, one of the things that it's not a magical aspect of the book, but to me it was very foreign, is the idea of, you know, like you're 10 years old and you're going to a dorm. To me, that was like a college thing and nothing else. I know there were boarding schools, but I didn't go to one. So I was like, what? You get to be with all your friends all the time? So are you going to be living on the campus, the college campus, or no? Also, that's probably not how boarding schools go. They probably don't care that they're around their friends all the time. Maybe they do. Okay, so we have a way of showing this, but we don't have a way of doing a show and update. This sets the tooltip ability ID so that, why do we do this? You can update the tooltip. Do we ever set this to null? No, we don't. What? Why is this a thing? Show and update tooltip. Yeah, we never set this to none. And we never call this from another place. I think this is... I'm not even sure why this is here. I guess because you needed to know what you were hovering over. Yeah, that's reasonable. We do this. We call update. I don't think this needs to be here. So the adventurer is null. Yeah. Get the ability and set the text. Yeah. A3D extended. Moving to an apartment. Campuses aren't a big thing here in Norway. I see. New town for me though. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of new stuff. Nice, nice, nice. Well, I'm excited. I think it's good. I hope you learn a lot. How do you decide on what to continue if you have hobby projects and none of them have any deadlines or anything? I have ADHD, and 1 second I have an idea for my task manager, I start doing it, then it hits me that I should continue learning C# for game dev. Then I remember to plan out what I want to make. Then I get overwhelmed and just be like, not like this. So I can't exactly comment on the ADHD part, but that might be what's worth working on more so than the just how do you decide on what to continue. But assuming you didn't have ADHD, I think you should figure out what your goal is first. Is it to learn? Is it to produce something? Is it to is this to use for yourself, to share with friends, to make money, to whatever else? You know, you can have any number of reasons you want to do something. And that way you can figure out if your path is actually helping you there. So if it is to produce something and if it's to make money, then switching between 10 different projects will not accomplish that. So I'd be like, okay, pick which one's most important to you or whichever one will make the most money or something like that. If it's just to learn, then switching between 10 projects will actually help you with that. So I would be like, well, it sounds like you're just doing what you should be doing. Took some time off work, then COVID, sick leave, first injury, delayed going back for the past few years. Yeah. Well, I think it's good to have work experience before you go to school. I think both can be fine, but I think that way you have a little bit more of a grip on what you want to learn, what you need. You've got more structure into how you operate. Okay, this is going to get messy pretty fast because this show and update tooltip thing, I mean, I think this is okay to have, but we have then update tooltip and then we have position tooltip. And I think we can easily move position into the tooltip itself. Yeah, maybe we put that there. Tooltip. Man, I don't like that that's lagging. Wonder if restarting VS Code or something would help. Public position tooltip, maybe we call it like based on mouse position or near mouse. Position tooltip near mouse. Yeah, that's good. I like that. And nothing else here is at all specific to this. Yeah. So now we can delete all of these. This. All right. Yeah, pretty good. So now position tooltip is going to be deleted. And anywhere we had called position tooltip, which is literally just here, is going to be tooltip.position near mouse. All right, so then what's update do? I guess anytime we call the set text, we need to call position near mouse. Yeah, in fact, that means that we can then delete this function. Nice. I dig it. Yeah, this thing called savings. Yeah. Yeah, really. Yeah, it's a different experience. You know, you can't have multiple first experiences of something unless I guess you have total amnesia. But it would have been interesting to see how, because I did it the other way, right? I did school and then jobs. But it would have been nice to see what this would have been like for my life and my education. But now there's no going back and doing that. Hey, Capillara, welcome back. Thank you for the very, very long resub, 52 months. I think one of the issues, though, if you do the job to school route, is just the general age range is different. And that tends to matter a little bit more to college age students because the range is generally like 18 to 22 or so. And then it feels like 2 years is a big difference. I mean, I don't think this matters to everybody. I'm just saying I think some people seem to care about that. Never seen that little keyboard thingy? Yeah, this is called a corn keyboard. Although this style of keyboard exists in many different varieties. So like there's a Lily keyboard. And I typed that wrong. Yeah, so there are lots of different like split keyboards out there. Mr. Balrock. That's a joke that works in the US, but do they have axe elsewhere? Works for me is giving reason to why you want to do something. Why do you want to achieve a certain thing? Yeah. You wish you never went to school? Yeah. I think it's hard to know how school helped exactly because there in the universe where you didn't go to school, maybe you didn't end up in the same position you're in now. And maybe it's because you didn't have school and it's might be hard to know. US is trying to grow its manufacturing industry by potentially devaluing its currency, but this would increase borrowing costs on its large debts. Neither party is interested in raising taxes or lowering spending. Any advice? Advice on what exactly? Like how to cope with this? Or like, are you? Yeah. Oh, you have it here in Europe as well. Okay, got it. Yeah. Did a 1-year course in university which covered math and physics you need to qualify for engineering. Yeah. Yeah, maybe I'm the one in chat. I'm talking to myself right now. The trade school and the bachelor. Yeah. The end of the message is cut though. Oh yeah. Yeah, you can only have 500 characters in a message. You could wake up one day fully proficient in a programming language that is either not widely used or no longer in use today. Which would you choose and why? Either not widely used or no longer in use today. I'd probably pick the not widely used, and I'd probably pick something like a Lisp variant. And I think the reason why is it helps your thought process. That's my succinct way of saying this. If I had to pick one that's not in use really, I'd probably pick like COBOL because it's still somewhat in use, and I think you can make a lot of money if you use it for whatever they're using it for, bank software or something. But I wouldn't actually want to learn that. And I guess I already did learn a Lisp variant in the past. I just haven't really used it a lot. Hey, Positronic. Never really felt old or did anything until we learned binary numbers. Digit more in your age. Oh man. Yeah, that would never happen in decimal, right? You wouldn't have a 9-year-old in college or a 100-year-old probably. I mean, I know you could, and I know that's happened before. I think some people have gotten their PhDs at like 13, but yeah, probably not very common. I don't know how much do you make as a COBOL programmer though. Is it millions? I feel like it's job security and it's not bad pay. I don't know if it's like, yeah, we really need someone like this. We're willing to pay $5 million. It was boring. You just quit. Yeah, I've said this before, but I think a university is really good for people who need the structure and for people who need to like overcome some bias toward university. Maybe there's a hiring thing in your country where it's like, well, they just want people from university, or for any sort of industry that just requires it to begin with. So like being a doctor, I don't think you can be a doctor in the US without having gotten extensive degrees and qualifications. And I don't know if there's a route that doesn't take you through university for that. But yeah, for computers, I think it's just, do you need the structure? You can only write ASCII codes from memory. I mean, 65 is capital A and 97 is lowercase a. And from there, you can just figure everything else out. Easy peasy. All right, I've been dragging my feet on this. I can actually do this. So we have the show and update tooltip. Let's just copy everything over for right now. And then let's refactor things afterward. So there's show and update tooltip, which means now we need the tooltip ability ID saved off, which we use for what exactly? So that we can just call update without having to worry about which button was set. Seems reasonable. Let's do that. Put this here somewhere. I'll put it right there. Okay, now what are we missing? Missing update tooltip. This is going to be a different function altogether. So this one to refactor would be a little bit more challenging. It's 84,000. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's not as sought after as I thought. Although I guess, I mean, how hard can COBOL be to learn if you're an experienced programmer? I guess if it were something like you're getting paid $1 million a year, that just more people would learn it. Job security usually means having skills that make it easy to get another job. Yeah, I think that's, wait, no, I don't think that's job security. I think that's job mobility. I was going to say job security is that you aren't let go from your current job. But I guess you could define it either way. Anyway, yeah, having those skills could be good, and also just being so invaluable to your team or company that they can't let you go. So this is just to get your ability component, which we have in player abilities. Player ability. So then we don't need this, because there's no such thing as not having this thing selected. And then get tooltip for an adventure. Yeah, this is a problem. I didn't put a lot of thought into this. Let's rename this. Every get tooltip assumes you pass in an entity. Okay, there's something we can do here, which is probably a dumb idea. But there's some concept of a battle ability that I made, isn't there? Yeah, this. This inherits from passive ability and then overrides initialize. I think what we need to do is make something in between these things. Whoops, as I mentioned, I didn't want to spend a ton of time on this stuff. So we're going to make a player ability. Then open this up. It's just going to be called player ability. That's all fine. So it's got its own initialize, which may or may not be needed. So this is player ability. As opposed to being granted to a specific entity. Yeah. Hey, Mudkip. Awesome stuff. Well, thank you. Awesome stuff from you resubbing. I appreciate it. You interpreted job security as like cybersecurity. That's a security job. You can have security job security though, if you're really good at cybersecurity. Are you making a player ability and town ability? No, I think just player ability and entity ability, and this will just be the base ability pretty much. Because player ability just doesn't act on it's not going to need to take in a node entity, but this one will. So something like that's what I'm thinking. And there's another reason for doing this too, but it was based on a task I filed that I've forgotten about and can't recall at this point. So we have initialize here. We don't need this on this one, which means this doesn't even need to exist anymore. So I guess we could have just renamed this. It's probably gonna be figured out as a rename anyway. Yeah, whatever. Let's just rename it player ability. Cool. Now delete the file. Okay. And then we need a get tooltip for this. So what are the ones we made? Debug player items ability. Yeah, so this, we're going to just delete that thing. Now it doesn't know that it's an override because we need to make it a thing over here. Return no tooltip defined. We did this for the other one too, I think. Where did we do that? Base ability. Why is it called get ability description? It should be called get description. No tooltip defined. Yeah, except for it didn't have a period. Oh, it doesn't have a period over here either. Okay, sure. All right, I think that looks good. Now we go into this and why is this not working? Oh wait, I just have to save it again. Let's rebuild. Error, no suitable method found to override. How did I? Oh, this inherits from passive ability, not player ability. That's why. All right, we have 2 more of those. Debug player, what, money and items? What did I do? Items, so I need money and power. That's right, chat, I need money and power. There is money, and now I need debug power. I typed it right? No. Wait, did I already do this? I guess. Still wondering how you'll make things like higher sell value, customer speed. In the end, I guess it doesn't matter that such effects are applied during battle. Less coding required to separate those. Oh, Raimu, thanks for the tier 3 3-year resub. Welcome back. And Darkstorm, we already have the higher sell value thing in game technically. Although I might not have pushed this. But debug player, it's whenever we modify money, we can just say get the level of your ability that you have and multiply it by the amount that you were going to get. So really, in the end, it's just like what we do in battle. We just get the level of an ability and apply some scaling factor. Yeah, Raimu, very generous. I think you've been on tier 3 for practically as long as tier 3 has been around for. So you're like 108 months of subscribing. Okay, now we can go back to the Skeletree. Hey, Broken Ground. And we can just delete this. Oh, but this can't be a base ability anymore. Now it needs to be a player ability. Oh, which is gonna mess this up. Get ability. Yeah, this is not necessarily a base ability. We could cast it. Converting null literal to possible. Oh, just a question mark. Cannot implicitly convert from base ability to player ability. Yeah, I guess same thing, player ability. There is no argument that corresponds to entity. That doesn't exist anymore. This is not a base ability. I think we just need to rebuild. The perfect sub by any standard. Hey, Smooth. We have notes somewhere on available buffer words, or do you already have them locally? When you say available buffer words, you mean the player-wide stuff? Because I need to do that as part of the content, which we might get to today. But if you're talking about entity stuff, like, you know, power, dodge, etc., I would just say to look through the code because it probably covers most of it. But yeah, these, I've only got some ideas right now. And by the way, all we're going to try to come up with is enough for checkpoint number 2, which is maybe like 4 skills, something like that, maybe 4, 5, 3, in that general range. Why does this not work? Oh, oh, there are 2 different functions here. This should probably be protected, right? Does anything outside of this call this? Huh, yeah, I should have just made this protected. Huh, well, that's a mistake. All right, so that's protected, which then technically means that everything else needs to be protected. Oh, man. All right, we'll do that in a different change then. I'll just write that down. I mean, things like item cost, etc. Yeah, I just had some ideas written down, but I don't know what we're going to actually go with. And I'll probably just come up with some basic ones that are pretty easy to do. Actually, lowering the item cost could be kind of interesting, but it won't really matter for checkpoint number 2. Because then customers could buy more stuff, but right now customers are an infinite source of money. But having the items be worth more is something we could do. This should be protected since no outside callers exist. Okay, so I need to override this as well. All right, this is a little stupid. There's probably a better way to do this. So we just don't take this in and we delete this. Yeah. Note that there are 2 instances of this. Yeah. Okay. Do stuff like spawning customers more money. Yeah, I like the idea. We just need to change other stuff that probably won't be done in time. So I'll just make sure that that's written down somewhere. Customer stuff, customers, more customers, they move faster. Customers spawn with more money. It may be kind of, no, I was going to say it might be kind of interesting to have them like create money, but then why wouldn't you be able to create money? All right, and I'm going to write a note for way in the future. Just file a task on how we would consolidate the 2. I have an idea for how we would do this. Functions for player and entity abilities. I think we would have something like I tooltip source, something like that. And for the player, it just returns nothing. Yeah, that's probably how we would do that. But that is not important right now. Okay, I think we're in good shape. I think we can try this out. Yeah, let's go try it. All right, here goes. Let's see if we did this. Nope. What's wrong? Probably something simple. No, not found tooltip. Yeah, it's not inside the root. It's inside this thing called control. Skeletree, get node. I guess skill container had it. Yeah, let's run that. Hey, nice, it worked. The to-do is actually written in code, so that's not a problem. Yeah. So let's go write some just basic stuff to know that it's definitely working. So debug player, I don't know, power ability, whatever. Increases the power of all battlers. Yeah, and then what did the other one say? Add tool to be at here. So this one does literally nothing right now. It really doesn't. And this increases the money you get from all sources. There'd be numbers in here and everything. This is just to make sure this is working. What do you do if you want to start a new project and try to find the tech stack and figure out that all stacks are suboptimal? Running a cross-platform mobile app with 3D skeleton animations and native device integrations. I think I would look at what apps are similar to what I want to do and then what they were built in. Because chances are there's something out there that's at least kind of close to what you want. And maybe the 3D skeleton animations are something where it's like, well, you got to pop back to the native rendering stack. Maybe you maybe you find a library out there that does something what you need. Maybe you end up using a game engine for it. It could be anything. Okay, yeah, these tooltips are correct. Yeah, nice. All right, I'm pretty happy with this. We should probably have made this a regular tooltip. And I'll just write that down as a task to file for later. Like minor cleanup is going to be make the help label in the skell tree be a proper tooltip rather than its own custom control. Hey, Hef. All right, pass in the tooltip to the skill button, have it update the tooltip itself. This is stuff I would normally want to think about, but I think we got to move on. Don't know any apps in that space though, but there's got to be something. It doesn't even need to be 3D skeleton anything. It's just got to be an app that has 3D something in it. And maybe you could find like a modeling program that would have that, like an architecture sort of thing. If you look up like CAD iOS, they might have something that's similar. Well, this isn't 3D, but it might be the same general kind of setup. Or I guess 3D modeling, like does Blender exist on iOS? I guess not. I don't know. Anyway, there's probably something. Yeah, I guess if it gets too close to games, it would probably have just used the game engine to begin with. Anyway, I think the original question was like, let's say that didn't exist and nothing had ever done this stuff before, then yeah, it's make your own tech for it. But I don't think that should be necessary. At least not in this day and age with the like millions of apps that exist. There's got to be something that's pretty similar. All right, so we have some duplicated code. Show and update tooltip. By the way, right now I feel like we're in scramble mode. It's get ready for July 26th. But after that, I really want to just be in stabilization mode. And I want to tackle some of the refactors. I want to work on music. I want to do some of the other stuff. Hey again, Xavier. When you want to get your real IP, I just type what's my IP and click whatever the first link is. But there's a shell thing that you can just curl. Curl what's my IP. That might be the best for you. Yeah, this is all you need to do. Curl icanhasip.com. Can I try it for you? No. So show and update. This is too similar between the two of these. Well, update is fine. Actually, I guess this is kind of fine too. Are we doing anything all that unique here? Let's just look at what we added. Ability tooltip. Yeah, this is all kind of fine. Yeah. Remember you setting up botline servers? Yeah. Good old VVVV. I don't like their tracking. I might just set up my own and get real IP via Nginx. Yeah, it should be easy enough to do that. Although your router should just have it, right? Maybe you could just write something that scrapes your router's page for it. In fact, does your OS ever surface that? Yeah, your OS should surface it too. Although I don't know if there's a... Oh yeah, at least on Mac, I guess there is a... No. Maybe there's... I don't know. Yeah, how do I find my IP address from the command line? For wireless, for Ethernet. Yeah, apparently this is doable here. I don't know what operating system you're on, but it might just be possible at an OS level. Nothing really bad happened because of it. Yeah, nothing that I knew at least. Like it's possible someone out there has something of mine. Maybe they have the source code to Botland or something and they just never did anything with it. All those accounts are now defunct. I like completely disabled my Amazon account. I think I deleted it. So if they did have keys, it's like I never noticed a bill that went too high. So if they did spend money using whatever keys I had, it was minimal enough for it to never have surfaced on my radar. All right, this is another cleanup thing. Later, look at show and update tooltip in the skill trees and see if we can consolidate things. Oh yeah, sorry. I don't end up showing YouTube chat on stream, but it's just Xavier talking and traffic from earlier. Potentially even pass a tooltip to the skill button and have it update the tooltip itself. Yeah, I'll just write this. For example, I thought that maybe we could pass a tooltip to the skill button and have the button update the tooltip itself. That way the code mostly just lives in skill button. I think that would be cool. I'm going to get ready to check this in though. And we're going to try to be very careful about what else we're doing because I only want to spend another hour on this and then I want to move to content stuff. So let's see what we got here. An ability is granted player-wide versus as opposed to being granted to a specific entity. This is fine. Yeah, we have different initialized calls. Oh, I didn't test going into a battle. Let's go try that out. Should work. It's very, very, very verbose. Yeah, so verbose that your passwords leak. It looks like battles are working fine. Yeah, I don't see a problem with this. Speed this up. Yep, looking good. Now we won that battle, but what if we gave power to our player? Now when we start a battle, now we win it immediately. Because we're doing a ludicrous amount of damage. Yeah, imagine I just make up all the YouTube chat and just respond to things like, oh, thank you. I do think this game is going to be wildly successful. just Xavier over there. Type in some emojis. Yep. Looks good. Yeah, this is all fine. This is the part I didn't like, which I kind of want to save the commit hash for this. Everything else kind of looks good here. This is some minor cleanup that should probably be in its own entire thing. Skill tree. Let's go check that in. I wanna just check in this part, stage range, and I want to check in this part. Is this the button I want? Stage block, yeah. Remove unnecessary code. Tooltips are already hidden by default. And what's the other thing I did? Oh yeah, ability ID dot none should never have been used. Would it have been used anywhere? I guess if it didn't crash, well, whatever. If it does crash, it's a bug and we'll fix it. What? You're thinking of a $1 million investment? That's not the kind of message I can just make up. I need to start a bidding war or something. Xavier does sound like a good guy. And Xavier's saying over on YouTube that What At 2 sounds like a good guy. Huh, coincidence? Anything else? Where's skill tree? I don't see it. Here it is. Yeah, nice. I like getting rid of this. That would have been annoying code to have everywhere. Nice that the tooltip can just do it itself. Yeah, cool. So add tooltips to skill tree. There's probably a decent amount of duplication here, but it's not a priority to fix it right now since I'm getting ready for the next checkpoint. All right, I want the commit hash for that. Why is it not? Oh, there it goes. This has been slow for some reason. I wonder if I should just restart VS Code. I probably should. Yeah, strange. Let's X out of this. Git was down yesterday for a while. You mean GitHub? Yeah, okay, yeah. Oh, an update. I like updates. What's in the update? It's gone. There we go. Yeah. So show me the patch notes. Wait, really? I thought it popped them up automatically. Fine. There's a way to see them. Change it? Well, I thought there was a way to see this. Patch update. Huh, weird. It is weird. Well, I guess we can just search for it on here. Updates. June 2024. Is that the one? Yeah, I guess this is the newest one. No, I already had this one though. I wonder what it just did in the update then. I see this update 1.91.1. When was that released? But, all right, I don't know. Let's look at these issues. Was anything saying it's too slow? No. Okay, well, whatever. I said I wanted that commit hash. Let's go get it. See this commit for where I added this stuff. Cool. Next, what do we do? Don't care about this right now. Oh, darn it. This one. Ugh, I don't want to do this. Add a button to access the player-wide skill tree somewhere in the game. All right, how do we do this? I mean, adding a button is dead simple. I don't know where to put it, though. That's the problem. Because we have, if this would ever load, we have the skills right here. So one thing we could do, let me populate this list. So one thing we could do is we have rogue, mage, warrior, cleric. We could have like you. And you click that and it pops up this list inside of one of these little widgets. So yeah, I guess where do we put the skill tree? Option 1 could be inside the skill tree as another like tab. So you have rogue, mage, I guess you have like player, rogue, mage, etc. Option 2 is give it a dedicated button. Honestly, this is easiest for right now, so let's just do this. Yeah. This isn't worth spending a lot of time on. Okay. Let's go to town and where are the buttons? Not there, here. So toggle skill tree, and then there'd be toggle skill tree. Oh, man. Maybe we call this adventurer skills. And then your skills, which wouldn't even exist until you have skills, I guess. Yeah, the Path of Exile skill tree. I want to avoid something like that for this game. At least a sprawling one like that. But I mean, the same general concepts will be there of prerequisites and putting points and stuff. So this would be toggle skill tree. And I guess we'll call it like player skills. We could call it the skill tree. It's not really a tree right now. I'll just say player skills. Yeah. All right, what is the tooltip for this button? It doesn't say anything. So power up your adventurers by assigning and removing skill points. Or I guess I'll say like customize your adventurers by assigning and removing skill points. Yeah. And then we'll just copy paste this into this one. And we'll say customize your town. It's not really your town, it's like anything. Customize your perks by assigning and removing skill points. Yeah, there. All right, so now we go to town menu and we pretty much just copy the skill button everywhere. Toggle skill tree button, toggle scale tree button. What is it called here? Toggle scale tree? Okay, on toggle scale tree. Anywhere else? Set state of buttons. We don't have a problem with that. This is going to be an issue. Yeah, cool. Really cool. I haven't seen that game. Let me take a look. No, neat. I mean, I don't know what kind of game it is exactly, but if this is it, then looks cool. Is it pun time? I asked for what should we call this yesterday, and Crace said we should call them Skell points. But actually, I now have a change I want to make. I either want to call them, I want to name them one of these two things. So which should it be instead of Skell? And here are the options. And the reason I want to change it is because the name of the game is Skeleseller. So I want it to be something that appears in the name of the game. But I think you would pronounce these differently given that the name of the game is Skeleseller. So you'd either call them Skella points or you'd call them Skell points. And I could see either one working. So what does chat think? Do you prefer one or two? All we're doing is changing the spelling, well, which I guess could potentially change the pronunciation. Everyone says two. Okay, so Skella points. And I guess it'd be your Skeletree. I would need to call it something else then, I think. All right, I'll write that chat voted on that. Chat voted on Skella. However, then I probably need a new name for the Skeletree because it would be a less obvious pun if people pronounce it Skeletree. Closer to skill, but since it's called Skella, fits better. Yeah, yeah. Right now it's spelled like this, which I think, like you said, makes it at least closer to skill. And that's where I guess, I don't know. Yeah, I'll need to think about it some more. All right, so we have this on toggle Skeletree. We gotta do a couple of things here. On toggle. Oh wait, we never even put this over here, did we? Nope. There. Oh, on upgrade shop is never used? Yeah, I deleted this. Okay, well, should have deleted it from there too. All right, next on toggle Skeletree. Toggle Skeletree visibility. We don't have a thing for this? How do you do this now? Oh, you just press the home button? Yeah, that should have just been its own function. Okay. Well, it's not hard to do that. We just copy paste this and just rename Skeletree to Skeletree. Same thing here. We probably delete this. We probably turn it off by default. Now there's one more thing missing, and that's highlighting this green when you have enough points, which means we need to know when your number of points changed. This is updated available skill points. This is updated available Skell points. Update Skell button. This is so stupid. All right, let's go start with the first one. Updated available skill points. This is just Skell points, and it just takes in an int. And we just need to know if it's more than 0. Where do we do this? Scale points plus equal, yeah, here. Invoke. Oh, we should just tell you your total. I guess we could tell you the delta, but that doesn't really matter, I guess. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, cool. And then we have an update scale button. Cool. Private void update scale button. This takes in a scale points. Yeah, sure. And if it's greater than 0, we set it to green. Easy peasy. All right, I think we're done. Let's go try it out. Do you have some notes or just have everything in mind? Make something. Hey, make a button. Brain loads in 177 steps to make it. This stuff is easy enough to do, and I've done it before where it's just follow the pattern that exists. And then as you are doing that, maybe you come up with other issues. So yeah, I think a lot of this is driven by some experience that I have doing this, the precedents that are set, and then just, thought as I'm working on it. All right, this is technically a problem because we have this set to 5 already. But if I click this button, no, that's not gonna work. We gotta do we gotta do something different here. We must update this button when we spend points too. So where else does this get called? Update available skill points. This must be getting used when you spend a point. Yep, modified available skill points, that's where. Okay, so we got to do the same thing. Except for the tree itself can know to do this. But it won't know your current number of points because I didn't save it there. Hey, 85 filter. Makes me wonder if I just should save it there. Is there a problem with that? I don't think so. And hey, Lemon. It's going well. We are prepping. We got 9 days until this becomes playable. I guess, again, because it's checkpoint number 2. And in that time, there were 3 things I wanted to do. I wanted to do quests, I wanted to add some content, and I wanted to make the battle space look better. Right now, when you started the game, it's literally blank space at the bottom. So if I zoom in on the town, you can see it just looks like it's been cut off. And that's because that space is supposed to be used for battles. So when battles are there, this looks fine. It doesn't really look like it's being cut off by nothing. It looks like it's being cut off by the battles. But when nothing's there, it looks pretty bad. So yeah, I wanted to fix those 3 things. We are finishing up some of the quest stuff. Then I'm going to be switching over to content. I can undo spending points, yeah. And I have tended to do that in the past. Not very often, but yeah, every once in a while I'll just blanket grant everyone their points back. All right. So what would it mean to store skull points in the tree? Let's just find every reference we had. Wait a second, is it already in the tree? Oh my God, are you kidding me? Okay, well, whoops. I didn't realize that. I was about to make a change, it was already done. So then we don't need... Oh, this is in the town menu. Okay, I see. The town menu needs to know whenever you've updated these. So then I guess every time you click a button, we need to know that. Do we have an action here? No, we'll have to get one. The skill tree must do this. Yeah, modified available skill points. All right, oh, we just need this exact same thing. But you know the drill. We change the name to skill points. Got an interview with a company that has 2.6 on Glassdoor, and the role for technical support engineer is practically a dev role. So should I go for it? I would ask any questions in the interview that could change your mind. So a 2.6 means there's a lot of negativity around this. I don't think that's pretty typical for companies to have that kind of a review. And what are they saying online? Like, is it work-life balance? Is it perks? Is it whatever culture? Is it pay? Is it, it could be anything. And which of these matter to you? So for example, pay, they're going to eventually tell you, and you could just make a decision then, but you wouldn't find out about the culture until you start there. So these are the kinds of things I tend to ask, are things like, do people work on weekends? Is there crunch time? Am I on call? Those sorts of things. And maybe you ask about retention rate or something. Like, you can ask whatever you want. If they're offended by the question, then they just don't offer you the job, right? But if that's going to help you determine that you will like the job or you won't like the job, then it's an important question for you. It took 4 stars. I had a list somewhere of all the questions I used to ask. Let me take a look. Because I think people ask for them. Let me see if I can find it really fast. I thought I found this the other. Oh wait, maybe it's this. No, I don't know where I put it. Yeah, I don't know where I put it. Anyway, yeah, I would say just think about the things that you disliked about past jobs and how you could potentially avoid that same thing happening again. And some of these questions, by the way, they might give you bad answers or just false answers. King Cyrus, thanks for subbing. Hi. I don't know if I've seen you chat here before. Yeah, you have not chatted here before. Well, welcome. Okay, so modify available skill points. We got to call this every time you change the number of skill points you have. And I guess we need to pass in how many points you have. Excuse me. Int skill points. And now your only message is a heart. I will also type a heart. There. Much love in chat. All right, so the town listens to this and it tells the town menu, skell tree dot. We initialize it here. We need a, we don't have any, oh, we don't have any actions on it to begin with. What am I doing? Yeah, we would just do this here. There's setup skill tree. I mean, this could be setup skill trees. I'm just going to put this here for right now. Skell tree dot modified plus equal update available skill points. This is not all that interesting. Int points. We want to call into the town menu, I guess. Do we even have a reference to that? Menu? Yeah, menu. Menu dot skell points changed. All right, something like that. Let's go take a look at that. Now here's where we want to set update skell button. Now, what wild thing did I mess up at this point? Let's put this over here. Move unused parameter points. Yeah, I guess we need the points in there. At which point this function doesn't need to exist. Yeah, it doesn't need to exist. So we just have it be update skell button. No, I think that's fine. One of these is public, one's private. Yeah, I kind of thought about taking a break, but then I'm like, oh, if I just take a break at the 2-hour mark, I can come back and just be done with the quest stuff. Not a great reason for doing things, but it at least did cross my mind. So here's what we're trying to see if this worked. Player skills should turn green when you have skills to spend. So if I spend them all, then the button turns white. Now, if I get a point, we need to... Uh-oh, that's not good. Something's breaking. Oh no, is this the skill tree? I guess it did need to check if it's none. Oh man. I do use events, yeah. Followed you a while ago. Good to see you're still going strong in development. Yeah, I have been on a crazy journey, I guess. Yeah, you've been following since 2019. So I was probably working on Botland back then. And then I took a 3-year break from streaming pretty much. And then when I got back, I was working on all sorts of different stuff. And then you'll see at some point this all converges to game stuff. So there were some Godot things, a Godot prototype that led to this game Idle Ascendants that led to Skeleseller. This journal is public, by the way, if anyone ever wants to look at it. Okay, well, so much for this. So we check somewhere if this thing is equal to null for updating a tooltip. I guess we also needed to check if the ability is none. There we go. Well, that should fix that at least. Let's go try this again. Let's see. Yeah, cool. Yeah, that button works. So now grant some items, increase the game speed. Let's just get any quest going here. This one, sure. Unfortunately, this takes 10 of these. Oh yeah, then I need to spend all my points. Okay, so all we're doing is we're going to see, does this button turn green when this quest gets completed? It did. Nice. Okay, cool. Then you can spend the point. So the only issue is that it's not set to green when you start the game. So where do we set your number of points? Oh, it starts at 5. Okay, well, we should just delete this. It'll just start at 0. There. Maybe we should put in a debug grant points button, but that's something I'll put in the cleanup maybe. Put a debug grant points button in the skell tree. Okay, so this is done. Go check that in. We added in a new button. We said that the skell tree is no longer visible. Oh, we gotta mark this as fixed. Stage that change. Fix bug in skill tree. Turns out we did need to check if we were using the none ability. All right, what about the rest of the changes? Oh, nice. Lambda expression can be removed. You can't actually select the quick fix from here? Are you kidding me? There we go. Looks good, looks good, looks good. Good, good, good. Everything is looking fine here. Toggle skell tree. What? Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. Add button to see skell tree. Well, to show / hide, I guess. Now that I think about it, I kind of do want there to be a shortcut in the game for this. T is for your adventurer skills. I guess P could be for player skills. Let's do that. I guess I'm dangerous now. So says the king. First time on stream, you seem like a nice bloke. Well, thanks. NW Psy. Welcome in. Let me know if you have any questions. I've been working on Skeleseller now for, I guess, 30 stream days, and it'll probably be the rest of this year. And the only other content that I really do on stream is mentoring and interviews. And the next interview is actually going to be this Friday with Sharon Lowe. I'm excited about this. I think it's going to be nice. I think the last interview was really good too. The first 2 were good, but they were a long time ago now. So yeah, mostly game dev, sometimes involving other people, but not for game dev. All right, what did I just say? Darn it, darn it, darn it, darn it. What did I say? Oh no. Oh no. What did I say I wanted to do? Oh, I don't usually forget it that fast. Oh, I can't remember. Do you have questions prepared? Yeah, I prepare questions for all the interviews. Oh, right. Okay, I was going to say this breaking is a pretty good sign that whatever I was doing was not finished. Town ready. Wait, that's... this. Wait, that's strange. Shouldn't be a problem. Yeah. Oh yeah, thank you, Sinatra. Okay. Oh, yeah, I appreciate that. Okay, I think we need to set this back to a lambda. Because this doesn't seem like I can just modify this. Which I do find a little bit strange. Really need to know if it works better if you keep your source files open. I don't think I've noticed a difference, but I haven't paid very close attention. Okay, yeah, that did fix this. All right, now let's go add in the shortcut. I appreciate you reminding me. So we have something for skills here. UI toggle skill tree. Yeah, so we'll make a UI toggle skill tree. And we'll put it in here, add, and we'll make it be the key P, which hopefully is not used for anything already. I doubt it. And then we'll put in that code that we had right here. Just click this button and change this to UI toggle skill tree. And then change this to toggle skill tree visibility. Dunzo. Let's try that out. No one's going to know this exists in the game because I don't advertise the hotkeys anywhere. Oh, maybe on the itch page I do. So now if I press P, it opens these up. If I press T, it opens this up. I kind of want there to only be one of these open at a time. Yeah, right now you can only have one of this open at a time. But yeah, this can be on top of both of those. Oh, I don't know if I want to do that though. So I'm going to just hold off on that for now. Let's write that here. Maybe make it so that only one of any of the following can be open. Skill tree, and battle or instance chooser. How's Godot compared to Unity right now? Because I hope it'll be way better in the future. I haven't used Unity in a while. I think Unity is much more mature. And I think sometimes that means that features are better thought out, or they've had more bake time, or there are more assets in the asset store, those sorts of things. And sometimes it means that there are bugs that have existed for years that they're just never going to fix. Godot has a completely different monetization model though, which is it's free and it's open source. And for some people, this open source part matters. For example, let's say Unity changes the game engine in a way you don't like. You could always keep using that same version, but now you'll never get updates anymore. You can't be like, oh, I'll just change it myself back to what it was. But yeah, I think Godot is probably a pretty good choice for most people starting out in game dev. And for most people who don't have any super specific needs that somehow Unity might only accommodate. Slay the Spire has a Godot blog post, I think. Yeah, where's the actual post? This? Okay, I'm going to link this in. I don't know if this is the exact thing I'm thinking of here. Yeah, they talk about switching from Unity to Godot. And this is coming from someone who made a wildly successful game. So I suggest reading this. Yeah, I suggest reading this. Okay, I think I'm pretty happy about this. You can also press P to open it. Okay. Oh, what remains here? Don't care about this. This is important. Okay, we'll put a star. I just want to figure out which ones are important because I wanted to spend no more than like 25 more minutes on this. This will matter eventually. Set of abilities. Oh yeah, this stuff. This is content though. We're gonna get to that. That's technically something I still work on. This doesn't matter too much. This doesn't matter too much. This. We'll just move the sample abilities up here. Enumeration being validated. Immutable dictionary. I'm using this now. Yeah, I already did this. I finally got the syntax to work. I wasn't thinking clearly on Monday. Make it so that only one of the following can be open. Debug grant skill points. File a task to consolidate things. Show you earned a skill point. Grant most things should give you them. Make the help label. Open a proper tooltip. Later, file a task to NPCs give you hints. Dictionary syntax unrelated. Figure out leaks. Okay, cool. Yeah. So we're in pretty good shape. We just need to do this one starred task, and then these very obvious ones of push the branch and mark this task is done. Just as I thought, because I took the L with the rest of the devs on September. The Unity monetization stuff you're talking about? Because yeah, that was that's quite surprising. There's certain things, yeah. I'm just like, why? Who thought this was a good idea? And maybe, you know what I think? I think a lot of times what happens is they're not like, will this be received well? They're like, this is what needs to be done for us to make more money, and this is the quickest path to it. And then when it turned out it was like a bomb exploded, that they said, oh, okay, let's walk that back. I think I caught you live since you were working on that visual scripting robot game. Yeah, wow. Let's find out. 2018. Yep. The last time you were here was Valentine's Day of 2018. So hi again. Yeah, I've switched from working on Botland. Botland got discontinued in what year? 2020. So yeah, you were there while I was still working on it, and I think I launched it in, oh, I guess it was discontinued in 2020. I think I launched it in 2019. I don't fully remember. But yeah, I took a 3-year break to work at Google, and I'm now working on a game called Skeleseller, and you are just in time because July 26th is when I'm going to be launching the second checkpoint of this game, which means it'll be freely available. It's not open source right now. I'm considering making it open source. Someone had suggested that, hey, they can spend their time, they know the tech stack, and yeah, maybe I just pass everything off to them and they make it public. I don't know. Because I don't have a problem with doing that. And if I'm not going to host the game myself somewhere, it's like it might as well, the source might as well just be freely available. Yeah, I'll write that down. Consider involving that person who said they could help make Botland open source. There are a few things to do to make it open source. There's making sure there's nothing private, because I never really cared about that up until now because no one had access to it. And there is documenting stuff. And I think just coming up with a license. Yeah. Make sure nothing is private and document stuff. Yeah, maybe mention I don't want to spend any time on this. I don't really want to spend any time on this. What if we, the community, sponsor the servers? I just don't think there's demand for this really. Like, I know a lot of you watched during the Botland days, and having the game online so you could check it out again is an interesting enough idea, but then what? After a week, are you still playing? Is there an actual community? I don't know. And that's why if I just make it open source, people can decide that for themselves, I guess. Yeah. What resources does it use? Can't be much. It used a bunch of, I mean, it could exist as Docker containers, but there were servers for everything. There was an account server, there was a game server, there was a matchmaking server. You needed a database, and then you needed a web server for the client. So on Amazon, these things were all in their own places. The database was Aurora, and these things were all in ECS, the whole set of those 3 things. And then the web server was just S3 and whatever the cloud thing that they call it, Cloud Front, Cloud something. I forgot the name. Yeah, so I just want it there. But, and I mean this honestly, why? And that's what stopped me from wanting to put more effort into it. I mean that, and then I have other priorities now, and it would be probably a non-trivial amount of time. All right, so this part's done. So we have one thing left to do here, and I think we can get it done in 20 minutes. Part of the history of the community. Yeah, I guess having it online is fine. Oh, I also need to mention that there's a bunch of like, don't host this anywhere. Mention that people shouldn't host this somewhere sensitive. You can probably break out of the eval sandbox. Yeah, I wrote some stuff to try to prevent that, but it probably wasn't perfect, and just nobody played the game enough to find out a way to break out of it. Okay, so the thing that we're going to do here is we're going to change this. I wrote some dialogue. In a future version, I'll eventually tell you where to find the item. This we're not going to change. I'm not going to do anything about that yet. I need you to fetch num item name. Yeah, so this we got to change. It's got to figure out what quest you're about to get so that it can tell you what to fetch. How do we get that? I guess the shop has the next quest. No, the shop has, what is it called? Next check for next quest. Here it is. So there's get next quest. So I think the shop should have this as a public function, maybe. There's a quest ID. Yeah. All right, I'm going to make a public function with this. It even has a single player mode. I guess technically, but it was an always online game because it required you to log into your account. So there was no way to play when you were fully offline. And I'm not sure if you could cut the internet connection after that. I think it would fail. I think it, yeah, needed to be online. Public quest ID, get next quest ID. Whoops. Return. There we go. Now let's go do that. This is just going to be here. I guess we still need this thing, so fine. Anywhere else we do this? All right, take care, Rust. Hope you don't get struck by lightning. Get next quest ID. So we don't need this. So we don't need this. Nice. Okay. Anything else? No, that's pretty good. Yeah. Now we can use this from the shopkeep thing. Can we all agree to revert the game logic to the point where I knew the overpowered cheese strat? Yep, you can. You can do that. Next quest ID equals, we need the shop. Shopkeep component shop, get next quest ID. Okay, now we need the next quest data, and then we need to populate the number of items you need and whatever else. What is this? Get. Yeah, so num items needed. What's the other thing? The item name. Item name. This isn't even a thing. What is it called? Item ID, required item ID. Okay, all item data dot get required item ID display name. There is no display name? Oh, because there are never any names of the items in the game. Oh, this is stupid then. I need a picture here. Is there BB code for a picture? Even if there is, it'd have to be in Godot. Ah, drat. Oh, neat. Is it possible? Inserts an image from path can be any valid texture 2D. Wow, okay. Yeah, I guess we can do this. Well, would you look at that? So what do we have here? We have just a vector. Oh, God. Okay, well, we could make the item and then the item would have... Does the item have a texture? How do we know how to do this? Oh, the item scene has a texture. All right, this will be a little bit obnoxious. But yeah, we could probably still do this. Atlas chords. Vector 2 Atlas. Hey, Matt. Okay, so where's the texture path? How does this work? Oh, wait, this can't be an Atlas texture, can it? Can be any valid texture 2D resource. If width is provided, it'll try to fit into that. No, there's no way to do this. Can it use an Atlas? Oh, man. Or region? Oh, region rect. Oh, cool. You can. How do you do that? X, Y, width, height. Okay, this is going to be a mess. Image options. Image options. How do you specify options? You put region equals? I'm just not sure how you specify this. Font option. Did they show an example for this? Name and come on. Show me how you use this. All right, we got to figure this out. So we're gonna have an image tag. Oh, maybe they have a push tag or something like that. instead of BB code. If you don't want to use BB code, you can use functions provided by rich text label. Every BB code has a push tag. Few convenience things. Oh, this is a mess. They have push image. No. Wait, seriously they don't? Update image? What is update image? Existing images with a key? Okay, I don't know about that. Let's just write this ourselves. Okay, so I need you to fetch, so let's put a $sign here. I need you to fetch num items needed X, and then we need the image tag. Image BB code. If you do, I'll give you, yeah, let's just worry about that stuff later. All right, so image BB tag, we'll just say string this equals, I have no idea. I don't know how you do this. Where'd the image thing go? Here it is. So image path image. Okay, image path and then slash image. And the path is going to be res. I don't know where any of this is. Skeleseller, game, assets, items, orcs items. All right, so copy path to that. Res assets? Yeah, we just started assets. Okay, so what if we did this and I guess deleted this part here? So this will put in the entire sprite sheet, which is gonna look pretty funny. So this is this, or can we just put true here and have this always show up? It might be considered a build error. I don't actually know. No, it's not, thank goodness. Okay. I need you to fetch 10 image res, whatever. I guess we need to set that this is BB code, because the dialog box probably just uses a label. Text label. No, it's a rich text label. So it just doesn't have BB code set. We could set it in here. We could also just set it inside the scene itself, dialog box. Yeah, text BB code on. Hey, it worked. Wow. I'm guessing Mage got gutted. I haven't done balance changes yet. But I have a note saying destroy Matt's favorite class. All right, so we just got to figure out how to put these things, these options into here. Where'd they go? Image options. Yeah, there's a way to set a region. I just don't know how to do this. X, Y, width, and height. Do you say region equals? 0, I don't even know. 16, 16, 16, 16. Like, I doubt this is correct, but I don't know what syntax you use for this. I'm going to probably need to look something up online. Oh, no, that worked. Wow. Okay. The problem is it's using the wrong texture filter. Can we customize that? Because we're asking quite a lot of this thing. Filter? No, I don't think we can. Godot, rich text label, image, texture filter. We need it to be set to, I think, nearest. Image texture. Wow, the word filter shows up a million times. No, I don't think there's a way to do this. Oh, that's too bad. We were so close. Sprite tag. Data URI support. Where the image is loading from the file system. Oh wait, there's update image, which we had seen. Does this let you set the filter? Key image update mask? Update texture. Update size, color, alignment, region pad, tooltip. Can we? Yeah, I don't know. You can pass in an image. Oh, maybe you can. Okay, let's try that. This is nuts. This is just nuts. Dialog box, the update image. It's not there. Oh, because it's not text label. Text label, the update image. Okay, variant key. What do we specify as a key? Can you give keys to BB code? I don't know. What is key? See add image. Key is an optional identifier. I think this will work. Yeah, I think this will work. I'm gonna delete this and I'm gonna put dialog box text label add image. Okay, so texture image. We need to get an image from this. So texture 2D. I guess it's an atlas texture. Oh, this is so annoying. You make an atlas texture. I didn't expect this to take as long as it's taking. There's some code where I do this. Where is that? Here. Get a texture. So this is what I want. Okay, so the texture path is going to be this thing. The rectangle, we're just going to set all this to 16, 16, 16, 16, whatever. We can customize this later. Although actually, I guess we already have the chords, so we could just do this. X, Y. Okay. Cool. Now we add that here, atlas texture. And what are the other arguments? Width, height, color, variant. Is that it? Do I have to set the filter somewhere? Filter clip. Texture. There's a way to do this. What do you call this thing? I could have sworn this had a filter. Maybe it's not. I guess party member uses this. Texture rect. Don't we set a filter somewhere? Texture filter. Yeah, what's the path of this? It's literally just texture filter, but it's in canvas item. All right, I don't know. Let's just try this. It's going to show at the end of the message if it even works. Oh, I forgot a semicolon. I know this is a mess right now. I just want a non-blurry potion image to show, and then we pretty much accomplish the task. It's blurry. I don't want it to be blurry. Godot, Atlas, texture, set, texture, filter. It just might not be possible. There's just filter clip. But maybe texture 2D has it? No. Where does the whole nearest and linear and stuff come from? Nearest. It's just canvas item? There's got to be a way to do this, right? Set texture 2D nearest filter. Nearest texture filtering not working. This is not a bug. Is this possible? Texture 2D parameter to allow specifying your texture in the editor. Set its filter drop down to nearest. Texture 2D. Does this have some other property that I have to fetch it from there? Oh, come on. I don't see anything. I just see filter clip and that's it. There's Atlas. What is that? The texture. Does that have a thing I can use? Does that have filter? No, free. There's no set right now. Yeah. Hey, JavaScript. All right, I don't know what to do. I don't know. I don't know where you set this. Does a sprite even have this? It must have this. How did I get this to look like this here? Not here. In Adventure. Yeah, sprite. Do you have a... Yeah, you have a texture filter. It's just canvas item. I guess a sprite is what a canvas item is, right? Godot sprite 2D. This inherits from canvas item? Yeah. Okay. Well, then maybe rich text label has it. Because that should be a canvas item, right? Dialog. Whoops, not that. Dialog box dot. There is a texture filter. Oh, would you look at that? Thanks, Royston. It doesn't have filter in them. What is nearest supposed to be? This is... This should be the easy part. Texture filter. I want the documentation on this. Where are the stupid values of this? Oh, there it is. Nearest 1. Okay, we're setting this to 1. Oh, there it is. Canvas item texture filter enum. Canvas item texture filter enum nearest. Got it. We did it. At least I think we did it. Let's go try that now. No, it's a canvas item that has it, not the texture. Yeah, I thought it was the texture. Does it work? Does it work? Does it work? No. What? What is it supposed to be set to then? Uh-oh. This looks fine. How does this look fine? What if I set this to nearest? Yeah, nearest is correct. Linear makes it blurry. No. Are you the Adam that knows Kipogo? Yeah. Why do you ask? Also, sorry if that sounded more pointed than I meant it to. It's a purely curiosity-driven question. Oh, man. Oh, wait. Oh, maybe we just need to set this on text label? Oh, please work. Although it should have inherited by default. Maybe, for whatever reason, text label has something different on it. And maybe this breaks the text. Yeah, so now the image is clear, and now I think the font is not clear. Drat. Remember talking about Adam 12531? Yeah. Yep. Yeah, cool. Yeah, Kit's still going strong. Still doing a bunch of different things. Botland, which is what I was working on, has been discontinued, but now I'm working on this game, Skeleseller. There is a way that I could probably get this to work. I think I could put in 2 different labels maybe, but I think this is gonna be busted. How about this? Let's zoom in completely. Let's take a picture of this. And then let's do the same thing without the texture filter. Hey, Steel Shoot. Yeah, look, it's so much crisper, right? If I zoom in on this too and try to get to the same general level. Yeah, drat. So we can either have the image look good or we can have the text look good, but not both. What a shame. Yeah, so if we scroll over here, oh, we don't have it in the picture, but anyway, yeah. This has a blurry item image. Oh, the only thing I can think to do is use multiple labels. But we would need the labels to show up with the right like word wrapping and everything. It doesn't look that blurry. I mean, it's definitely not the crisp art that we should have here. Is the icon in a label? Yeah, it's inside of a rich text label. So we have this add image thing here. So what I think we would need to do, dialog box dot text, like, can you add like add text? This is presumably just a string, right? Yeah. Add sibling. Sibling. Moves the added sibling right below. Oh, this is on node. This is on rich text label. No, so the image doesn't have a filter. Like there's this concept of a canvas item, which are things like a sprite, a label, and this has the filter that we want. So the problem is that we have a rich text label, which has both text and an image. But since we set the filter at this level, this one wants a nearest filter and this one wants a linear filter, or vice versa, linear filter and a nearest filter. So we need two different filters. Can't do that. The only way to accomplish that, I think, would be to have two different labels. Actually, technically three. There are some like super hacks we could try to do here. We could just put in some blank space and then try to position an image on top of it. Would we want to split them up anyway for layout purposes, or is it just too much work? Well, no, the layout of this would be perfectly fine because we can add in an image wherever we want in here. Like if I do this, check this out. I do add image, then I do add text. Did I not put an opening quote? No. Yeah, so this is the right layout. Oh, whoops. Delete this. Yeah, it would need to be two canvas items, but then the layout will be tough. So if I just look at this, yeah, I need you to fetch 10 axes. If you do, I'll give you, I mean, there's some other things I need to say there. But yeah, that image is just going to look bad, or the text is going to look bad. Start this from scratch. Yeah, and all of that's on stream too if you want to check out the VODs. Although you probably need to look them on YouTube, I think, because I think they're probably deleted on Twitch by now. But you can see how I started it. Actually, you can also see just from this journal how I started it. There was originally, it all started as just some prototyping and some game design. Actually, the prototype was for something different. Yeah, it started as just game design. And then it turned into this game, which is playable, but I don't ever recommend playing this because we got feedback that it's basically not that fun. But yeah, this game, Idle Ascendance, you would start the game, you could move around, you could get into battles, and then you choose your actions that you use in battle. This was just the battling component though, and it just wasn't that worthwhile to play, but it taught us a lot about what we wanted to make as a game. Is it issue worth addressing for checkpoint number 2? It's not, and I have already exhausted the time I wanted to spend on quest stuff, but I think this is going to be a very challenging thing to eventually address, and I think we will probably need to address it eventually, because we don't have item names in the game, and even if we did, players probably won't be used to them. So when they're like, oh, there's a fiery axe I need to get. Oh, there's the fiery axe. I recognize that. So for now, we probably could just leave it as a blurry image and then just write to fix it later. Yeah. All right, well, let's just fill in the rest of this then. I'll give you reward and mention upgrading the shop. Yeah. Okay, so reward is going to be a number of quest points or number of skell points. Quest data dot skell. Where is this thing? Next quest data. Skell point reward and another item display in my shop. Yeah, there. Okay, so we don't need that. I'll just write a comment here. I guess I won't write a comment here. I'll put it in the other document that I have. I can go for cleanup. Rich text label can only have one texture filter, but we need linear for the text and nearest for the image. I think we'll need, there's no way to get rid of that filter, right? Yeah. I think we'll need 2 Rich text labels, or some way to make an image in memory that's unaffected by the filter somehow. Yeah. Could just have an icon pinned to the left or right that's your image, but yeah, it'd be nice if you could do it in line. Yeah, especially because the text might change in different languages, it might change. So like aligning it to the right spot could be tough. Then again, I guess something we could do here, I'll write this down as an idea. Maybe we can put a blank 16 by 16 image in and somehow get its position, then just position an item sprite on top of that as a hack. That could potentially work if we can get the position of an image. Is there, let me look at this really quickly, just because I have the momentum now and I have the context. Where's rich text label? Here it is. So somewhere there's add image. This returns void object. Okay. Yeah, so there's probably no way to get the position of the image. There's update image. Also does not do anything for us there, huh? Yeah, it's just those two things. Well, it's too bad. Our project I've been procrastinating on, trying to use C++ with extended Python, and it's hard to get the C++ and Python to work together. Yeah, you should be able to find some projects online that have done this sort of thing. Because once you have the Python interpreter in, it's just a matter of calling functions between the two languages. I've done this in the past with not Python, but with Lua, I think. And it wasn't too bad. So yeah, I'd suggest just searching GitHub like C++ with Python bindings example. PyBind. Yeah, maybe they have some like getting started thing. I don't know. Can't you place the image in a control in a way that it does not use the flow like absolute in CSS? You can, yes, but then you need to figure out where it should be positioned. So the problem is that that label that shows up, need to wait for this to load. The label that shows up in English, we need to position the item here. In some other language, maybe it's over here, and in some other language, it might be on a different row entirely. So like we need to figure out where that would be. And I don't know how we would do that. I could think of some ideas. We could, no, wait, that wouldn't work. Yeah, I don't know. And yeah, another hack we could do is just say, I need you to fetch the following, and it's a colon, and then on the next line, it just shows the image that we need. That's another way we could do this, but it's not worth worrying about for right now. Another idea, we could just say something like, I need the following. And then on the next line, render an image. This would make the placement much easier. Yeah. Aren't all the VODs available on YouTube as well? Yeah, they should be. Yeah. I think exploiting YouTube for non-video storage is something that people shouldn't be doing. Especially because you can't count on them staying around forever. Is this message looking pretty good? I need you to fetch 10 axes. If you do, I'll give you 1. Okay, well, that shouldn't just say 1. Skel point. I'll pluralize it. Okay. String pluralize points. It should know what I want to do here. Yeah, there we go. Except for this should have been called point. And this should be spelled correctly. All right, there we go. Great, delete this. This image code actually worked. I'm going to put this in my stream of consciousness note. BB code image. There we go. You think they're going to go? I think that it's the kind of thing that if YouTube ever detected, let's say they ran some AI on their, set of videos and like, huh, this is one of those strange, just a bunch of black dots in an hour-long video. It's probably someone encoding something. I mean, they could slap your account with a, hey, you can't do this. Own canvas item outside the flow, like how you normally show a character portrait. Yeah. So that's that other idea that I kind of mentioned here. Just have the image be on its own line or something. Yeah, I was a software engineer at Google. I have a whole video on it. Yeah, Discord got rid of it. Yeah. Yeah. Well, and that's the other problem too, right? If you rely on it and enough people do it and then the company clamps down, then you can't rely on it anymore. And the problem with storage is that the whole reason you relied on it is so you don't lose something. So if you lost the thing, then there goes the entire reason you did that thing. Place a row with 2 columns, icon on the right with a fixed size, text on the left. Yeah, I think this is the kind of thing we'll address later. Didn't get anything, still haven't found one. Yeah, I think now is a bad time to be looking for a job. I know you can't do anything about it, but it's just unfortunate. Lots of companies have really cut down on hiring, or they've cut down on their actual workforce. Okay, I'm going to rebuild this, and then we're going to just restart the entire editor. Yeah. I don't think it was entirely COVID that put us into the state we're in now. I think it's a combination of COVID, AI, and sort of other companies making this decision already for whatever reason. Yeah. I do think COVID was a factor. COVID resulted in a lot of growth for a lot of tech companies, and that growth, if COVID had gone on for another 5 years, the hiring would have needed to keep up in pace, I think. But you can't tell how long a pandemic's going to last. And thankfully, there were vaccines developed quickly enough. Graduating next semester, job market is so cooked. Yeah. I wish you both luck. I mean, you're competing with each other, so maybe you should duel. Whoever wins gets the job. Companies are only looking for really strong senior devs. Hey, Artie. Well, yeah, that's another thing, I guess, is I think there's a different perception of the job market for junior versus senior. And yeah, probably being a senior developer in this climate is slightly better. And that's where I feel like AI has probably affected the junior level a little bit more than the senior level, at least in terms of being able to find a job. But yeah, 3.5 years ago, whenever I was looking, I think things were very different. Okay, so can I clean this up at all? Need you to fetch 10x of that thing. I'll give you this many skill points and another item display in my shop. Yeah. All right. Was there anything else that they're supposed to say here? Welcome to my shop. If you can find some new items, I may have a quest for you. Yeah, so the only one is this one. In a future version, I'll eventually tell you where to find the item, the quest you're on. For now, just go. I don't know what to write. I was gonna say just go figure it out on your own, but it's probably a little snarky. I think if a game ever tells you, suck it up, deal with it. All right, welcome to my shop. If you can find some new items, I may have a quest for you. So this is actually the final message for this, or at least what I'm considering. It's like, hey, you'll need to just figure out what item needs to be found. And at the beginning of the game, literally any item needs to be found. And as soon as you find it, so like the cloak goes over to the left, the potion goes to the right, and both of them immediately give you a quest. So this one says, I need you to fetch 5 cloaks. If you do, I'll give you 1 skill point and another item to display in my shop. Accept. Now we need 5 cloaks. This says, I need you to fetch 3 potions. And now we can just go grant a bunch of items and have it complete the quest for us. And we'll watch as our scale points go to 1 and then to 2. And now we can get debug power ability. Ooh, fun. Now let's check this in. So BB code is now enabled on this thing, which I'm not sure that we need. What if I cut this out? Because I did add image. I think it's all BB code under the hood. But let's find out. It might not be. All right, we just need to click this. Huh, no, that works. Okay, well, still, I think it should be BB code. But I guess it's not technically necessary. Yeah, whatever. Hey, Vagabond. Okay, looking good, looking good. Good. This function's a bit of a mess, but I mean, otherwise looking good. Can we cut this down somehow? Get like private void set up dialog box for quest. I don't know, next quest. And then we pass in the dialog box. Diablo box? Wow. It's just muscle memory going, huh? All right, let's get the Diablo box set up. Just paste this into here. And then put this over here. Okay, that looks slightly better. Yeah, we can put this up here too. Scale point reward. Num points granted. All right. Yeah, looking good. 16 by 16 should be something that's from game contents, right? Do we have that somewhere? Tile size and pixels? I guess so. It's really the item size. Let's try that one more time. Skeleseller is your economic weapon. Could be. Although, hey, hotel soap. Well, JavaScript, you could just switch now from League of Legends, right? Think about it. You probably have more salt than blood in your veins right now. Wouldn't you want more code than salt? It all makes sense. All right, grant most things, grant items, speed this up. Let's see. Yep. Yep. These things don't auto-update. Seems like the distinction between companies is different. Oh, it definitely is. Yeah. Yeah. And it makes sense. The needs of a 5-person company, senior is very different from the needs of a 100,000-person company. I think if you were even to try to standardize them, it would be very, very tough. Okay, so what do we write for this? Improve shopkeep message. When they offer you a quest, they now tell you what you need to fetch and show an item graphic. Unfortunately, this graphic is slightly blurry because the text and the graphic need 2 different texture filters, but a rich text label can only have 1. That'll have to be fixed later. All right, push branch, mark task done. Let's go do that. Although we still have all of this stuff, but whatever, done enough. So push and pull request. Revamp quests and add the player-wide skill tree. Skill tree. Zoop. We redesigned the quest system so that there aren't arbitrary tasks and rewards. The quests are now linear in fashion and award skill points, which can be used in the player-wide skill tree. It's a lot of commits. 73 files changed. Wow. Well, let's go merge this. I should have said that it fixes the thing, but I didn't. That's okay. We'll just mark this as fixed over here. Close. And now we are on content. Or maybe this one. I don't know which one. Let's figure it out. Task is done. Ooh. What a morning so far. Yeah, this was super productive. By the way, I don't think any of this existed before Monday. Is it? Is that Monday? No, that's Monday. Started working on revamped quest system. Yeah, Monday. Yeah. And yeah, now we have this. This existed beforehand, and being able to drop off items to the right spot. And if you had an adventure that was going toward the item display, it would change course and go to the bin. I can prove this. Watch this. So there are 3 going with potions. If I can click this fast enough, there, the one that was going to drop it off at the item display went over to the bin instead. So quests are a way of being a tiny bit of a money sink. It's like now you wouldn't earn the money from those potions, but then instead you get skill points, and the skill points can be used for permanent upgrades. And you can even customize. You can right click and remove points from this, just like you can in other skill trees. So you can always change your loadout however you want. In the future, that might not be true. You might have non-refundable skills. Maybe there's something here that says like build the alchemist shop, in which case you put 1 out of 1 point into it and then you can't right click it anymore. See, you're more productive if you don't take breaks. Oh man. I feel like it bit me on Monday and that the afternoon was slightly worse, but I think I was just lacking in sleep that day. All right, I do think we should probably take a break and then start working on content. Quest stuff is mostly clean up, hoping not to spend more than 2 hours. Yeah, I spent about 2 hours and 20 minutes. But yeah, the rest of the day needs to be content now. So I think this is the first content we need to figure out. And we're going to do this after the break. I'm just writing some stuff down. Oh, wait, no. We also talked about this, right? Make enemies. What is this? Make some enemy characters that can be generated. Manifesting something like all item data. But for enemies, at first, this can be... Did we not do this? No, we did this. Future work. Need different instances to have different enemies. And okay, that future work is what needs to be done. So technically, this work is already done. Make different instances, have different enemies. And the last one is instances shouldn't always have 3 rooms. Yeah, this might be a better task to do first. We have all these cool graphics that they're just not used anywhere. Yeah, we have, I guess we have 3 different kinds of bats. And there's a summon. Oh, but that's not actually used anywhere. Anyway, yeah, we have all these different graphics. If we load up monsters, there, oh, yep, there they are. So bats, slimes, grims, worms. That's it, yeah. So we have 4 different kinds. And that's all we're gonna have for checkpoint number 2, but that's still pretty good. All right, I'll go take my break. Probably work on the enemy stuff. I don't know, we just need to make progress. Is it jump time? It's jump time. Have fun, be back in a bit. Hey everybody. I see we had some somewhat new players here. I thought it was funny, Wilson. I came back and I just saw your character was standing there, but I guess you already were in the lead, so no need to go any further. Close the game. Let's get back to the other game. So yeah, is it worth working on the enemy stuff first? Different instances have different enemies. How would we even do this? So we have all instance data. This just tracks one kind of enemy. Actually, there's quite a lot of work to get different numbers of rooms because the instances are designed to only have... What happened here? Something's messed up. Oh, I gotta switch back to the main branch. Branch is behind by one commit. I think the poll should have done that. Yeah. Yeah, so we have instance. Yeah, we have these maps. The maps are 3 rooms big right now, but I want the instances to be different sizes. And I don't think there's a problem with just showing the first room. Sure, there's a bridge on the side and you just won't use it. I think that's okay. Okay, so how about we just start by doing that one thing? Let's just make it so you can have different numbers of rooms. So we'll manifest that inside of instance data. So we'll say int num rooms. Any videos on the topic? No, I don't think so. Well, I'd be happy to expand on anything. I think what you're seeing is just the process itself, and that there's probably not too much to say exactly about it. I think part of it is about the organization that I try to apply, which is like, I've already prioritized these tasks. I've already put them in the ready section, and now it's just taking them on. That even came from one step behind that, which is figuring out what needs to be done for checkpoint number 2. When should it launch? How could we fit that in? Like, how long is it going to take? We got quests. We're probably not going to have a 5th adventurer in time, but we do have 4. We added 1. Aim for a couple hours of gameplay, settle on game resolution. Yeah. Should I split the instance into scenes? I don't think it's super important right now. I think in the future, we're probably going to want different scenes for them. And we're probably going to want some like guideline within the instance itself. So for example, if this is a scene, we should probably have something like a guideline that only you can see here that says like, this is 1 room size. That way, as you're putting tiles down, you can envision the size of the room, and even have like a halfway divider line, that sort of thing. So sort of like how in the town, we have these red dots everywhere. These are just for us. They should probably exist when you're making an instance as well, where you can see like, here's the halfway point, here's 1 room, here's the amount of space you can have for a divider, and I don't know, something like that. Okay, so yeah, number of rooms. So we have number of rooms here now. We need to manifest this. Let's have the forest have 1, the dungeon will have 2, and the volcano will have 3 for right now. Now we need to go use that. Somewhere we have an equals 3. So let's find that like so, and a /b. Columns equals 3, layout mode. I only want to be searching through C# code. There we go. Tile, potion, start battle, ceiling color facing left. No, we don't have something that sets the number of rooms. So I think it's... No, wait, instance something has to. Yeah, total stage is 3. There it is. Yeah, so this is not going to be set through this. It's going to be set through instance data instead. So let's just delete it. Inspired by your ability to say how much time you want to spend on something, I tend to zone out when I program alone. I've said this in the past. I think this is pretty important to realize, which is, when are you working on a project for fun or for business, or a mixture, I guess. But I think people's prioritization working on projects for fun are wildly different from what they need to be if you're trying to make an actual launch or make money off of something. And it makes sense, right? If you pursue, the way I typically say it is like, imagine you're making a multiplayer game at some point you're going to need account registration or some identity system. But no one starts making a multiplayer game and they're like, oh yeah, account registration, can't wait to work on it. It's like, let's make the game, right? Let's go figure out if the game works. So at some point you kind of put this off, and yet if you're making an actual product, this needs to be on your roadmap somewhere. It needs to happen. And probably it wouldn't be the first thing you do, even if you were making a game as a product. But like, yeah, you wouldn't put it off till the very end. It's a very important system. All right, so yeah, this stages thing is gone. So now this is going to have to change. This will change from, I guess we need to get the instance ID. Do we get instance data somewhere? No. We could store it in here. I don't really see a point though. We can always fetch this and it's constant. Style potion. That would be kind of cool. All right, so int total stages equals get number of rooms. Yeah. Should probably make the parlance consistent here. Not gonna probably do that yet. All right, so now let's go test that out. That alone will hopefully just work. Because that was a pretty fast change. So we said the forest should have 1 room, dungeon should have 2, the volcano should have 3. So if I go start a battle, at the end of this stage, it should just be done. Speed this up. Nice. Okay, cool. Now we're gonna go start a battle in the second area. Let's also make my level 10, and let's grant us a cleric. Cool. So start a battle. We should have 2 rooms now. Okay, that's the second room. And then it should end after this. Cool. And now we can go to the volcano, and we have 3 rooms. Speed this up. We might not actually win. There's the second room. There's the third room. I think my characters are dying. Yeah, they're dead. All right, well, that's why we have skill points. Just put a bunch of points in here, and put a bunch of points in here, and we should win. Start battle. Oh yeah, destroying them. Like maximum life now. Neat. The third eventually being a boss room. Yeah, although I think it'd be cool to have like a 5-room instance at some point. Maybe there are instances you only do once, and those could be like the super long ones. I'm not sure. There is one kind of problem that we have with any sort of like boss instance, which is what happens if you don't have space for the items you would get. So, you know, you kill a boss, you'd expect something like dragon sword or something like that. And what if it's like, oh, sorry, you couldn't get that. Not enough space. So maybe we have a special thing where it bumps it off of an existing item display, or it, I don't know, puts it on the floor. I'm not sure. Or you just don't get it. I mean, it's only worth money in the end anyway, right? So you just lose out on the reward. It would feel really bad. Maybe we make them grant skill points or something. Oh, you know what? That's a pretty interesting idea. Although maybe not a good idea. Just make them all be 5 rooms long. I see no problem. Even if we only use 1 or 2, it's just copy paste work at this point. If it's copy paste work, it shouldn't really need to be done then, right? We could probably just change how we design instances such that we only design 1 room, and then we have all these little doodads just get randomly placed. Yeah. And that way we can just procedurally generate rooms. In fact, that's probably what we should do. You should have trophies you can earn that decorate the town. Yeah, there could be a trophy room. I'll write it down. Okay. So we can now specify the number of rooms. I like that. I think that's worth checking in on its own. Number of rooms, total stages. Yep, cool. Allow different number of... Actually, I shouldn't call it rooms. I should call it stages. Let's change that. Num stages. Oh, right. You can't do this, can you? I think it froze. I don't know what happened there. All right, let's go change it through this. num stages. Yeah, it worked for that. All right, that should have just changed it everywhere. It didn't change it everywhere. Yeah, we're good. Allow for customizing number of instance stages. Yeah. Store extra tile map and draw randomly in some places. Yeah, and I don't think we need to get too crazy with it right now. I think eventually it would be nice to have some differences in the instances. I don't know if randomizing them would be good. I feel like it would be to some extent. So that one's done. And now make different instances have different enemies. This one gets a little bit harder because the way we probably want to do this is like specify, well, there are two options. Option number one is have a predetermined list of enemies for each room. And number two is allow for some randomization. And both are fine, so I don't know which one we should pick. But if we have a predetermined list, then it would be like forest 1 would just be, 2 bats every single time. And if we allow for some randomization, we could say like forest 1 has 2 to 3 bats. Or maybe a chance to have a slime monster or something. I think if we're going to do that, then your loot should probably be based on how many enemies you saw. I guess the easier thing to do for right now is just have a predetermined list. Probably just work with that system for now. Plan to target PC or console and mobile as well. Just PC at first. Then if that is successful, then maybe console or maybe mobile. I don't know about console. Yeah. What type of game am I developing? Hey, Machete. I am developing a game called Skeleseller. And it's a very laid back, not quite town building game, but like it's an item selling game. So you go into battles. The battles are automated. And when they win, they get items. And those items are something that your characters go and sell in the town. So they're going to bring these axes over to the blacksmith over here, put them in the item displays. Then customers will come and buy them. And yeah, use the money to upgrade your characters, your player. We need to move the adventurer skill tree over slightly. Unrelated cleanup. Move the skill tree slightly to the right. So yeah, predetermined enemies for right now. I think the problem with randomized enemies is that this, for example, is a very big difference between 2 and 3 bats. It's a plus 50% change. You could kind of smooth that out for larger instances. Like if you have 3 rooms and there are 2 to 3 bats per room, then I guess it's 6 to 9 bats, which is still a 50% difference, but you could maybe smooth out that somehow, I guess. Skeletons aren't your worker minions anymore. Yeah, you only have 1 worker now, and that's you. And then your adventurers act as workers. So watch this. If I go start a battle right now, with the rogue, cleric, and mage, there's the mage, there's the cleric, there's the rogue. They're just going to disappear from town. And now they don't function as workers. So now when you get items, you've only got 2 people going and stocking your shops. So I like that trade-off of like, oh, I got a bunch of items. I actually probably shouldn't do battle right now. And maybe we allow for hiring workers again in the future. But I kind of like the idea of you just eventually have like 10 adventurers and you got to just balance between them stocking items and doing battle. Because look, that little poor worker is carrying all those cloaks. Actually, I guess there is another character there too, the warrior. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can try it on July 26th, which is next Friday. Next week's Friday. Let's have a decay component on the skeleton workers you hire. They're temporary. Yeah, I think, okay, I'm going to write that down too. Just keep spewing ideas over here, and I'll just take them and say that they were mine in the end. I think I wrote something about like a haste buff. Yeah, give them overworld spells, haste, blink. Maybe they can also enhance items. Is Matt suggested that a necromancer could summon skeletal workers? maybe they just stock one item and then die. Great idea, Adam. Thank you. I came up with it all on my own. I just have these bouts of inspiration sometimes, really. It's pretty magical. So predetermined enemy lists and instance data, then we're going to need to get the enemy information by room. So how do we want to manifest this? I guess however we did it here, right? We have level. Oh, we have level? Oh, wow. Did I really add that? What is this? What is this indeed? Power, fortitude, max life. How do these level up? Oh, the level is pointless right now. Oh, fine. All right, we got to actually have monster stats, I guess. Because right now they're all just considered to be level 1. I guess it doesn't really matter too much. We could just set their stats right in the instance. Then we don't need to worry about level ups. We could just tweak them downward. Yeah. Yeah, I actually like that idea. Plus monsters don't have names. I still need to think about this some more. Draw life energy, heal his summons with it. Yeah, I like that. Although since you also have healers in the game now, it's almost a little less important because the healers could just heal your summons. It'd be kind of cool to have a summoner that has no direct attack abilities of its own. It just, maybe at the beginning of the battle it summons 3 things: a healer, a tank, and a damage dealer. It's like party in a can. Yeah, so I think what I want to do here is I want to make something like the room enemy data by room and then delete num stages, I guess. And the enemy data, we're going to have, what are we going to have? Here we have an enemy ID. We, I guess, also need to specify their stats, which we don't do. No, we don't do that. Specify their number, we won't need that. Level is there, but level doesn't mean anything. And enemy data doesn't have anything other than your starter stats. I think I'm okay with that. Yeah, I don't like this idea of actually leveling up adventurers. I think the level is just something that shows in the UI. Maybe we compute it based on the average stats of the enemies. That could be kind of interesting. I'm gonna write that down as an idea. Working on the enemy stuff. Maybe compute the level that shows in the instance chooser based on the stats of the enemies within. Or maybe, yeah, I don't know. So conclusions, I want to manifest an instance like this. I want to be able to say, new forest, we have number of adventurers, level, number of enemies needs to go away, number of stages needs to go away. Yeah. And then we're going to make a collection of collections of the enemies that we want. So we make like new, maybe 2 forest bats. Yeah, so this is kind of what I want to do, but then I want to set, no, actually that's pretty much it. Yeah. And we can make like a power multiplier or something if we want to make an instance a little bit harder. Yeah, I think something like that's pretty good. Okay, so what is this? We are deleting num enemies, num stages, and we are instead putting in a list, read-only list of, they're like enemy spawns, I guess. So maybe do we have anything else in here? Not really. I guess we put it in, I don't know if we put it in instances or enemies. They're both kind of the same. They're both good locations for it. But I think probably in here, maybe enemy spawn data or something. All right, let's save this as enemy spawn data. Enemy spawn data. And this is just going to have 2 things. It's going to have an int number or count. And it's going to have an enemy ID. And that's it. And we need a comma, of course. Type expected. Oh, no, that's fine. All right, so now instance data. is going to have a read-only list of enemy spawn data. And from that, we'll figure out how many stages there are. So did we get this working? It's a list of, oh wait, it's a list of these per, hang on one second. Okay. This needs to be a list of room spawn data, actually. Yeah. So let's go make another thing here called room spawn data. And a room spawn data is a list of enemy spawn data. And that's it. In fact, possibly doing things this way is enemies spawn data, enemy spawn datas. I don't know. I'll just say enemies. No, what? Oh, Ani. I don't know, Nixia list. All right, there. I think we're doing better. So now this is a read-only list of this room spawn data, rooms spawn data. All room spawn data. Yeah, I'll name it that. All enemy spawn data. Okay, how are we looking now? So this is a new room spawn data, which needs to take in enemy spawn data. List of this. What have I messed up? String int a list of room spawn data. Oh, this needs to have a new here. So I'm gonna get this eventually. Yeah. Wonder how would treasure rooms mess up with the battle system if we were to implement those now? Yeah, we would need to make some changes. But I think it could fit in easily enough. I think this is the thing that I'm like, I don't want to complicate the current design for something we might do. And we possibly will do the treasure rooms, but I don't know about choices during the battle either. And I think what I'd want to do is sort of hack them in at first. So it transitions to a new room and then it's like, would you rather have treasure or do another battle? And then we just don't even manifest any constants. It's just some random chance. This was supposed to simplify things. I guess we don't have this anymore. There's a new room spawn data, which is a collection of enemy spawn data. No, it is a collection of those. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I think that's what we've come to the conclusion of here. Nothing that corresponds to item drops because what we need an enemy ID. Oh, because enemy ID is gone. Oh my goodness. Did I fix this? Responds to required parameter room spawn data. Okay, let's explicitly type this out. Did I do something else wrong here? Instance data, enemy spawn data. I'm gonna rebuild this. See what's going on. I think there are some stale errors here. Like, I don't think this is a problem. It says type expected, but we have a type. Did it fail? Still says type expected. What? Okay, well, this shows that I don't know what I'm doing. Line 8. What did I do wrong here? Should be like the easiest bug to identify. You think omitting the type after the new keyword helps? I mean, sure, it's a word less, but especially in that init, it seems unreadable. I think in general, I like omitting the type, because it is something that you should be able to tell from just looking at the type of the variable. In this, I think this is something that we probably need just a better format for. And I don't think omitting the new is necessarily the problem here. I think it's me trying to put like 6 different lists inside of one structure. And that even if you had room spawn data and enemy spawn data, it'd still look like a mess, but for a different reason. I don't know what I'm doing wrong here. What is record struct? Yeah, I didn't mess this up. How did I mess this up? I'm so confused. Let's just comment that out. Yeah, it still says type expected. Is there something missing? I truly don't see what's wrong with this. Wow, weird. I wonder if it's coming from this actually, and that a bug in this file is somehow causing, because I know this file is erroneous, and I'm just trying to fix that right now. So now it's going to complain about different errors in this file because I just commented out something that was supposed to be used. A comma at the end, maybe. I don't know. I don't see a problem. No, it's still complaining about the same thing. What? Oh, wait, do they not allow trailing commas in record structs? Oh my God, seriously? They allow trailing commas in like every other part. Yeah, was that? Okay. Wow. Well, I was going to say, I even have a linter rule that tells me I should add trailing commas for some things. All right, yeah, now this looks good. Oh, man. All right, so now I think we can just have these be news. Yeah. All right, not bad. So now we just need to convert all the other things we had here. So we're going to have 2 forest bats in the forest. In the dungeon, I guess let's copy paste this. You're now ranked. It has been done. So we're keeping the first 2 numbers and moving this. So this is going to be dungeon bat. And we have 2 rooms. And then volcano bat. What did that old number used to represent? Number of enemies, number of... No, it wasn't number of enemies, number of stages. What was it? Number of... Oh yeah, number of enemies, number of stages. So there were 4 of these. So this was supposed to be very tough. 4 volcano bats. Do we have volcano bats? Yeah. All right. Cool. All right, let's go try that out. Oh wait, no, what am I doing? None of this will work. I didn't code the rest of it. I got stuck on something for too long. And now what's the issue here? Instance data doesn't have none stages. Yeah. So there's going to be room data dot count. So that one should be done. Doesn't have num enemies. Yeah, this we've got to change. And we don't have enemy ID. This we got to change. So when we create enemy battlers, we need to know which room number we're currently on. Do we know that? Stage number. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. So this should be pretty easy. So we get the room spawn data. And this is called all room data. And then we get the enemy spawn data for that room. Wait a second, room spawn data has a list of that, right? Yeah, so we iterate over the list of that for each enemy spawn data. Okay, now each enemy, was it not called? Be nice if I had the right variable names here. Now each enemy is inside this as just a count and a number of enemies. So we go do this and that. And this is enemy spawn data dot count. Enemy spawn data. Now we do have one tiny thing that's going to happen here, which is that all of each type of enemy is always going to be grouped together. So if I had 3 bats and 5 skeletons, it'd always be the 3 bats first and then the 5 skeletons. If we wanted to change that, we could just put, 1 bat and then the skeletons or something. We could randomize it when we make the battle. I don't think it's a big deal. Is there a problem here? Because I feel like there's no problem, and I'm just going to run this anyway. Let's see. Error. This implies that there's a curly brace missing. Yeah, this for each is missing one. Okay, did it have any errors? Nope, just warnings. All right, let's run it. So we start a battle. We're going to see 2 forest bats. I'm just going to click win battle. Now we go to the dungeon and we should see, what should we see? 2 dungeon bats. They're the black ones. And then we win that battle and we go to the volcano and we see 4 of these. Now there is actually a problem with how I manifested this, which is if I were to go to the dungeon, there's only 1 room right now. If I speed this up, it should just end the battle right after this. Yeah, and the reason why is because I never had it in the other rooms. So we could actually have it start out harder and get easier, or start easy, or stay the same difficulty. So in this case, let's have the next room. Wait, how did I do this? Room spawn data. It's a list of enemy spawn data. Yeah. So we need another room. So it's this one, yeah. Right, the other room can have 2 dungeon bats. And I don't know, let's throw in a forest bat. Why not? One forest bat. And then the last room, or the last instance, let's just have it be this 3 times. Wow, it complains when you do this. Yeah. Okay, let's try that out. So forest has the 1 room. Let's grant most things. Let's click that. Let's give a bunch of skill points. In fact, let's grant too many skill points. Just put it in every single skill we have. There. So that was the first room. The second room, second dungeon, I guess. The dungeon, we had 2 bats, and then we have 1 forest bat there still. It's kind of cool. And then this one should just have 4 bats the whole time. Although we're going to die, so we won't be able to see it. Yeah. I mean, looked like it was working. We'll just add in a couple other party members. Should be able to win. Room 2 and room 3. Yeah, nice. So we have a system for doing this. As 3D Extended mentioned, it is ugly. Just to be able to specify these. This is where I think coming up with a system for making these might be good. Although I guess even if we have a builder or if we have a function that creates these, it would look pretty much the same as what we have here. And it does kind of make me wonder if we put something like new, what is this, room spawn data? I wonder if that would help a little bit. Yeah, here there are 2 rooms. Yeah, then we're just gonna get errors about all this stuff. Yeah, at least the rooms, I think that's good. The enemies, I'm not sure. Can you specify the parameter name to increase readability? Yeah, you can. If I, what is this called? All room spawn data. I don't think this is the problem though. I think it's a colon. Yeah. I don't think this is the problem though. I think, oh, what do we have here? Level and then maximum number of adventurers. Yeah. I think that could get confusing. But yeah, the room spawn data should be the obvious one because we'll have all this in here. Also, we're going to need to just turn this off for this file. Suppress issue. Just put this here. Why is it still complaining about it if I just suppressed it? These for those floating inside wood. Yeah. I think it would help for those. Is this complaining? Why? Come on. Don't save. It shouldn't be considered an issue. Yeah, I think it went away. All right, so what are these? Max adventurers and then level. So if we just search for this, it's max adventurers. Has no oh, is it max num? Max num. And then the next one is level. Yeah. Okay. I mean, this is pretty good. This structure is going to eventually be gigantic. But that's it. Now we have a way of customizing which enemies are in which rooms. Oh, which means we could, well, I guess it means we need to add in more enemies and stuff, but we'll do that in a different task. So this is number 75, which we have now fixed. Allow customizing instance rooms. Fixes 75. Yeah. Yep. We should probably validate this and make sure you don't have more enemies than you have space. Make sure room spawn data gets validated such that we don't have more enemies than we have space. Although even if we do, I don't think it'll cause an error. Yeah, the name parameters I only just started using yesterday, I think. What code was I working on? It was something that had 2 default parameters. Abilities. Ability data now has 2 default parameters, and in one case I only specify the max level and not the mod. And if we just search for max level : we should find it. Yeah, that's the first time I think I used it right there yesterday. I don't think reload window works in that case though, Tensei, because I've tried that before, and for whatever reason I determined no, I need to actually quit and reload. But I'll try it next time, and then at least we can know conclusively, because I am aware of that shortcut. Okay, the problem with adding content is that you're not just adding content, you're changing the balance of the game. And balancing is a nightmare. It's just a nightmare. And one of the things I learned from Idle Ascendance, where's the code for that? Idle Ascendance, here it is. Yeah, one of the problems with that is that we had, maybe it was in here. Yeah, this was what made this a nightmare. So all of these characters, these values were multipliers on their stats. So if a particular set of enemies seemed too strong or too weak, you could just change their stats sort of arbitrarily. But then now you have to maintain this set of arrays that you have. And the reason why I did that is because I had them all generate a certain level, and then the level corresponded to stat growth. So by default, characters would get 5 times their level in life. Well, the problem is, it's like, how do you even, okay, you have a level 50 character. How much life do they have? It's like, I don't know. You need to figure out exactly what their life would be by, I don't know. It was a mess. So I think I want to change this so that you just specify the stats of the enemies, and then that's it. It's like you don't have a bat that's level 7 or level 18 or something like that. You just have a bat, and it always has the same stats. And if you want a level 18 bat, you go make a level 18 bat and give it different stats. All right, I think this is done. Yeah. Okay, so that task is fixed. Let's go check that in, or push, I mean. Excuse me. I have a mute button on my mouse, but it's not reliable ever since I switched to Mac. Yeah, like it's not working right now. Huh, yeah. I don't know why that happens. It's not just a mouse thing, right? Yeah, it's just not working from the keyboard either. All right, add content. These 2 tasks are kind of the same task. This one is, it's going to take the rest of today for sure. Add abilities to enemies. I don't think we're going to do that now. Add more items to be sold. Add more regions you can open portals to. Add more enemy types. Do a basic balance pass. All right. Well, I said I wanted there to maybe be like 2 hours of gameplay in this next checkpoint. First of all, did I say that? Yeah, a couple of hours of gameplay. So do we have a boss at the end? Or maybe just some like impossible instance area? Got like 9 enemies per room and, 10 rooms. All this would really test is your cleric maxed out? Because that's the only way you'd be able to survive. Oh, also we could allow for an instance that has 4 characters. That way you can send your whole party. We should probably consider adding another character though. Dark and I designed a paladin, but we didn't add it to the game. I think adding a paladin would take a whole day though. But what we kind of ended up on was, where was it? Yeah. It has a passive ability that is decreased damage taken by all allies. It has a single target attack that also increases the paladin's defense. And then another passive ability, which would be a first in the game, which is why we haven't coded this yet, is that every time you take damage, you generate charges. And when you hit the maximum number of charges, you spew holy light everywhere and heal your allies and possibly damage enemies. Let's make a boss 4 tiles big, just a giant bat. We don't really have a way of setting that up easily in battle though, so we'd need to like hard code some stuff. Are rewards based on number of enemies, or is something set on the room? Yeah, it's something set on the instance. Excuse me, man. So the way this works is we just roll all of the different items that show up here. So when you beat the volcano, you're gonna get 3 to 9 axes, and when you beat the dungeon, you get 2 to 5 cloaks. And you can put in an arbitrary number of items you want in here. In the future, it's possible we do something with like, oh, there's a chance you get this, or pick one or the other of these 2 things, but it's just not really necessary yet. And that's part of the balance, by the way. Like, if you kill 2 bats, you shouldn't get 40 swords. We need to figure out what that is. What do we want to start with? I guess the enemies. Yeah. So this is done. We're now on to content. I'll just open this up like this. Okay, so how many instances do we need? We have 3. Maybe we aim for like 6 instances. Get to 6 instances. Use all the different enemy types. Allow for varying party sizes. Like I said, balance nightmare. Just an absolute balance nightmare. Grant different items. This is where it'd be great to have metrics in the game so that we could see something like, oh, the average player did the forest 3 times and then did the dungeon, 17 times. And we could say, oh, guess we should make the forest last for longer, the dungeon last for shorter. Or maybe we just have to tone down the dungeon, something like that. Oh, we hard code in the instance data what we actually use here, right? What is this? Instance prerequisites? This shouldn't be here. It should be inside the instance. Drat. Okay, that's another cleanup thing we got to do. Move instance prerequisites into the instance data. All right, well, that's not really what I was searching for at the time. I think I know what happens. I think it's somewhere in... No, what? Battle system has to figure out which... Where is it? This. How does this work? Oh, I see. The name of the instance needs to match the name of a node. Okay, we got to change that too. Yeah, well, that's pretty easy to go change. So let's do that. Forest, dungeon, and volcano. I'm not going to make new locations. So let's just use those 3. So instance data is going to have a string, which is the instance node name. And then anywhere we make this, we need to now specify that correctly. Yeah. Instance node name here is forest. Here, actually, let's just search for this. This is fine. Instance node name is going to be those. Now, an instance, when we have display, we don't do this anymore. What are we doing here? Is there a get node by name? Yeah, there is, of course. What are we doing here, though? We're setting all the other ones to invisible. That shouldn't matter. Because it should be invisible by default. I guess the dungeon is visible. If we put all of these inside, just... No. Should probably just make this invisible by default. And then get the tile maps from underneath that. Yeah, I think this can be changed a little bit. Yeah, let's just have the... No, let's have none of them show by default. So now I don't need to set visibility of this. I just need to get the right node. So node 2D instance scene equals get node instance data. Actually, let's just put it into here. All instance data dot get instance ID. There we go. So we're going to set this one to visible. And then get the tile map of that. And then I think we can delete this. And I guess we want to check if this is null. Does this just throw if it's... Yeah. Wait, invalid cast. What happens if it doesn't exist? Oh, where did that even just go? Here. Fetches a node. Oh, a null instance is returned and an error is logged. Okay, if an error is logged already, I think we can just delete this. Okay, let's try that. But the way we're going to try it is a little bit strange. We're going to have the forest use the volcano zone so that we can just make sure this is working. There's so much to do. There's just so much to do. I'm really not looking forward to balance, but the content stuff I think is okay. Like, it's one thing to just add in some new enemies. It's another to make them actually work. Yeah, here we go. So it's the forest enemies, why they're green bats, inside of the volcano zone. So why it's a lava area. So now that that works, which we should probably check that in on its own. Did I change anything here? Oh yeah, I made it not visible. Yep. All right, forest, dungeon, volcano, and then use that here. String instance, no name. Yeah, looks good. Cool. Allowed changing instance scene. This used to, the scene name or the node name used to have to match the instance ID enumeration name, but now it can be specified inside instance data. All right, so 6 instances. Let's go make some more. So forest, dungeon, volcano, super forest. I don't know. Yeah, forest 2. Is it worth coming up with better names? Forest 2, dungeon 2. We probably should have proper names for this. Volcano 2. I'm just going to name them this for right now. Okay. So let's copy the volcano and we'll call this forest 2. I'm literally going to call it forest 2. We'll figure this stuff out later. And we'll also, well, this taken 4 adventurers, I guess. Have it be level 4. Now we need new enemy IDs. For now, sure, just keep them as volcano bats. Yeah, I'll just copy paste this another couple times and we'll go with dungeon 2 and volcano 2. Okay, level 5 and level 6. The items are going to have to change. The enemies are going to have to change, but we don't have those yet. Got to start somewhere. Okay, does that just work? Or do I need to do anything else? I got to do this. Forest 2 relies on completing the volcano. Dungeon 2 relies on defeating the forest 2. And if I just delete this, the AI should be able to fill it in, yeah. I think this will just work. Let's see. Start battle always goes to forest 1. We win that one. Now we can go to the dungeon. We win that one. Now we can go to the volcano. Now we can go to forest 2. Dungeon 2. And volcano 2. Yeah. Okay. And I've never seen 4 party members in a battle, so let's see that for the first time. Neat. It's gonna be a lot happening in something like this. I haven't actually like put my skill points in. So I put a few points into each of these things and each of these and each of these and each of those, and then I just start the battle again. Should be pretty much no way to lose this because I could already win with 3 party members. Yeah, just quite a lot of text effects happening. Wow. So other than that it's sort of hard to tell what's going on in each time because the text is very large, I think this is what battles are going to eventually look like, is that there's just a lot happening. And in the end, it just turns into items. And all your characters go and stock up the shops. This is really starting to come together. I mean, yeah, now we have the adventurer skill or player skills, which I don't actually have a skill point for yet because we didn't get enough axes. Wow. Okay, well, use all the different enemy types. Let's go start on that. Enemy data. All enemy data. Does it haste when the cleric casts it? Yeah, the cleric has a, what's it called? Blessing of haste. Yeah. This casts on the entire party, and it's for a very short amount of time. What's the duration? Base duration. What's this doing here? Oh, yeah, that's fine. Anyway, it's 1 second, and you can upgrade it to be up to 2 seconds. And it casts every 7 seconds, but your own haste affects that 7 seconds. I really really like the idea of these adventurers or just building blocks. Like if you want a little bit more haste, then yeah, add the cleric to your party. If you want to kill enemies a little bit sooner, the rogue has execute, which is at 10% enemy life. They just die, basically. So it's sort of like cutting down every enemy by 10% life. And yeah, all the characters have their own special abilities and ways that they might synergize with each other. So I think it'll be cool once there's probably like 6, 7 options. I think that the max battle size will probably be 5 adventurers you can put in. And part of the reason for that is because there are 9 spaces in a battle. So if you had 5 adventurers and some of them were summoners, that you'd have like 4 spaces for summons. And maybe we don't even need that many. I guess it all depends on how you make a summoner. You might have a summoner class that like spams summons. Maybe it's good that it shows haste on all, but maybe it's not needed and just clutters. I think part of it is there's just a text effect for everything, and the text is relatively large, and there's no other place to see that. We might eventually have like a UI that just shows icons or something. I think it'd be tough. I think you need to know what the icons do. I think the other thing is when a buff only lasts for, let's say, 1 second, it's really hard to hover your mouse over it fast enough to see. So there are a lot of considerations there. And in the end, for a game like this, and I made a video on what I feel about automated games, but the short story is if you can click start battle and you're basically guaranteed to win this battle, then there's not much of a reason to optimize unless optimizing gets you like a 10x or 100x speed increase. But if it's like 1.2x, it's like, yeah, some people might care about that, but most people are just gonna be like, yeah, 1x is good enough. And that's sort of what this game is built on, is you're just supposed to sit back and watch some stuff happen. So if you win the battle 60% of the time, that might be good enough for you, and you just keep running the same instance. All right, all enemy data. Yeah, we just have these right now. They've got some stats. So let's go look at our different enemies that we have. Assets, monsters. Oh, I guess I have them all open in GIMP already, don't I? So we have the bats, of course. We have, oh my God, I can't see what this is. We have this grim thing. We have the worms, and we have slimes. Where are the slimes? I might not have it open anymore. Oh, wait, there's one. Yeah, there. I could definitely see this sort of thing being in the volcano. Maybe one of these. Maybe there's like a boss at the end of the volcano. That's one of those. And maybe we give them abilities too. Man, I love these graphics. They're so cool. Okay, so what we should do is we should put in one for all of these at the very least. So how do we do this? Copy this, CD into that path, ls star.png, db copy. All right, so here are all the enemies we have. Did I call them that? Do we have enemy IDs? No, we don't. We don't have them. Forest, dungeon, volcano. How many bats do we have? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we have 3 of everything. Okay, so then we need all of these other ones in there. I guess we'll just call them by their worm equals 5, blue worm equals 6. What's the other one? Orange worm. Yeah, so all the worms are done. Cool. Yeah, I gotta sneeze. Excuse me. All right, grim equals 8, blue, red. So the grims are done. We got all the bats already. Skeletons. Oh, we have 5 enemies? Oh, cool. Green and red. And then slimes. There. We don't really need these grouped. You could, I guess. No, it's kind of dumb. Let's just delete it. Okay, so now we have all of those. I think the game will just complain at us now that we didn't manifest data for any of those things. Did it? Yes, it did. Missing data for the following keys. Worm, blue worm, orange worm, grim, blue grim, red grim. Yeah, of course. All enemy data. Okay, so we got to manifest them for all these other things. If we just put a curly brace, does it know what to do? No, it doesn't. But if I paste in these things here, then it should know what to do. There. Now, make me a worm. Enemy ID.worm. I'm really just waiting for the AI to do something, but fine. It's not going to. Actually, if I comment these out in mine. Huh. Yeah, strange. I know. Oh, there it goes. Neat. All right, paste it in. Is that everything? No, it's not everything. I guess it was just taking a while to do it. All right, there it is. There's everything. So now we should be able to use these. Let's go try every single one of them out. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We can only try 9 at a time. But we can put them all into the forest and just see what it looks like. They'll probably kill my character too fast. Yeah, so we want to do this. New room spawn data. And then the enemies that we have are here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we want 1 of each. All right, let's try it out. Yeah, it's Copilot that I'm using. I definitely like it, especially for something like that. It's like, I don't care what the stats are. I just wanted these things to match what all the other ones were. And it's pretty quick to do that. We are probably gonna have a problem with defining stats that way though. Syntax error. Oh yeah, we need some commas. What was I gonna do? Oh yeah, make my adventurer have more life because otherwise we're gonna die too fast. So we are the rogue, and this is their life value. And we're gonna set this to 15,000. Could have also just set the fortitude to 100, I guess. Or is it percentage based? I don't remember. Start battle. Okay, so this works, but you can't really tell the Grims apart from the blue Grims. Looks pretty cool though. 15,000 life. I think if we level up, our life will actually go down. It says 15,000 right now, and if I click level up, yeah, it goes to 155. I just set it to whatever the stats are at the current time. Current level, I mean. Wow, this character's taking forever to kill these things. They probably got their stats copied from the volcano stuff, which was harder. This could be a problem in the actual game. Like a battle that you're not losing, but it's just not progressing fast enough. And there's no way out. Like a player doesn't have these debug buttons, win and lose. There could be a forfeit button here if you're just stuck. Because this is sped up 3 times and it's already taken a very long time. Yeah. Oh man. This would be painful if this were the real game. When they level up, the levels gained after the battle. So anything that you affect in this screen only takes place in new battles. And the reason for that is because you're allowed to respec at any time. So like if I put points into this, it says quick strike has a cooldown of 0.2 seconds, but then I can just right click it and remove the points and put it into crit instead. So what if you put points into a buff you get at the beginning of battle and then like undid it and then change? So I don't want players to have to worry about that. In a single player game, I don't think people care too much about like hyper optimizing that stuff. But imagine if this were an MMORPG, people would be doing that. Whatever gives them a benefit, they would be like, yes, I'm gonna min max this stuff, even if it means it's unfun gameplay. And I don't want to incentivize that. I've told the story about Animal Crossing New Horizons before, but they had this turnip system that I hated. I hated it because it was the best way to make money in the game. And it involved like signing into the game twice per day to try to find the best price or go online and find someone else's island that has it. And it was super tedious to buy a ton of turnips. It was super tedious to like put them somewhere. And and then one week I lost money at the end of doing this because it's a gamble. And I was just like, I'm done. I'm not playing this game again. And it's because the best way to make money is like the least fun way to make money. The two should typically align. Game has great content, but the combat is all about animation canceling. It's no fun. Yeah. I don't know anything about the ESO combat stuff, but I think the WoW designers back in, I don't know when they started making the game, but let's say 2000, they realized that yes, people are going to do what is best, not what is the most fun. And it's true. You see that in games. And like I said, you see it less in single player games because it's easier to just be like, I'm playing this game for myself. There's no competition. Why should I try to 3x my speed if it's not how I want to play? So use all the different enemy types, use all the different items and stuff. Yeah, we need to actually like try balancing this a little bit. I'm just trying to think in the final game, let's say we have like 90 enemies. You're going to need to have stats set for all of them. We could have some just like get baseline stat and kind of make levels. I don't know. I think it just becomes kind of annoying to do. All right, so let's take a break. I think it's a good time to take a lunch break. It's just about noon. I've been streaming for 3 hours and 32 minutes, and I've taken 1 break so far. The afternoon is going to entirely be about content, more of all the stuff that's in the game, items, enemies, the instances that we have. Eventually, player abilities need to be in here too. Add more player abilities. Add not more, just add player abilities. We don't even have any in the game. Well, we have them, but they're debug ones. They're these debug player power ability, money ability, and items ability. These were just to prove that I could make this skill tree. Yeah, I don't even have any points. All right, cool. Well, I hope you enjoyed watching, chat. It's been a productive morning. I'm gonna have lunch. I'll come back in about an hour. I'll stream for another 2-3 hours, and we'll just get as much content as we can done. Gonna be quite a lot of work, quite a lot. So yeah, thanks for watching. See you after lunch. Have a good rest of your day.